Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Welcome, everybody, coming into you on a beautiful Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. We're having a very, very, very good time. And guess what? Before I even get into it, we have a special guest. You see this guy right here? You know who this guy is. Number 44, Malcolm Rodriguez. Malcolm, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man.
My guy, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Give you a little bit of your time. How was your Thanksgiving, first and foremost?
It was good. I got Thanksgiving dinner in after the game. So
what'd you eat?
Had turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, pie, you name it. Then green beans, obviously. You got to get the greens in there still.
Oh, so 100%. But see, when you're as chiseled as you can eat like that.
Yeah, I can eat like that, but I'm feeling it now after, last night.
You can eat like that. Well, good to see you. Last time I saw you, it was a good time, too. I saw you at the golf course, the Rocket Mortgage outing. But let's talk about yesterday. You guys lose to the Buffalo Bills by 3. But it gave the Detroit Lions fans, the fan base, a lot of hope. Like, there's no such thing as a moral victory. But when you watch 3 wins in a row, when you go on the road twice and get wins, first time in Dan Campbell's career, and now you're a part of that, and then you come home. Buffalo Bills, you guys gave them a scare and actually could have won the game. Talk about yesterday. What did you take from it?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, it's going to lead up to 4 quarters.
Yeah.
So we knew that going in, like, they're going to throw punches. We're going to get punched. We're going to have to throw punches. So it's one of those things where it just came down to, certain possessions and little plays like that. So, the guys fought hard, and it's one of those things where we're right there, and it's, you just got to come out with the win at the end of the day. But other than that, you guys competed all 4 quarters, and, I was happy with the result. Obviously, we lost, but we didn't, give up or anything like that. So I was happy with the guys and the way we played. But just one of those things where we just got to keep moving forward and, couldn't look back now.
Definitely no quitting the Detroit Lions. You guys definitely are fighters. Even last year, the Detroit Lions were fighters. But watching it, man, you're starting to see players make plays and players get better. Talk about Alex Anzalone. Oh, my God, like he's become a player in the last 3 weeks. Look good to see him. You just watch Jared Goff, when he's comfortable, when he's in rhythm, he makes throws, et cetera. What shifted for you guys? Obviously, you guys were 1-6, and now you guys are 3-1, and you had a chance to win the game against Buffalo. What shifted?
I think it's just the camaraderie, we're starting to buy in. Everyone's, get that first win, get another win. Everyone's, starting to get that winning feeling. So just kind of buying into, the system and to the game plan, and it's just going out there and competing.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun to watch. Want to get the W's, but you guys got 3 in a row. You guys beat Green Bay. You beat Aaron Rodgers. Got a chance to beat the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields, and then you obviously went on the road, beat Daboll and the New York Giants. He was my offensive coordinator when I was in Cleveland at one point. Let's have some fun. Let's shift from the loss and shift from thinking about that. You wrestle, right? You're a big wrestler. Like, how does that help you in your game? Because I've seen you hip toss some guys.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I just know the angles and leverage. Yeah. I mean, linemen come up on me and they want to keep pushing after the play's already over. So I already just throw that hook in, like you said on Kelsey. Yeah. I use his momentum, and so it's just one of those things where it helps me with angles and like I said, leverage, and it's kind of like just natural going out there and kind of just using it.
Definitely slammed the hell out of Kelsey. I mean, his brother talked about it on the podcast, and it's funny because both of them got slammed that week, so it was very funny. You're a guy that gets to the ball. You're a guy that makes a lot of tackles. I believe you were 81, 80, 103, and 115 when you were at Oklahoma State. You get to the ball, you make tackles. Like, how is that? Why do you have a knack for getting to the ball and making tackles outside of wrestling?
It's just one of those things, film studies a lot. Then it's just, at the end of the day, run to the ball. And Anzalone's always telling me that. He said, at the end of the day, just run around, run to the ball. So a lot of film study goes into it, and just, being in the right position, of your job. And just at the end of the day, either you got the instincts or some, it's the instincts things too. So I got some instincts where I just kind of feel plays and certain things and like, hey, this is not right. So I just got to kind of swarm to the ball, and it's just one of those things. You get it active on the ball, you're either going to get a fumble or, cause a fumble. So it's one of those things, you just around the ball all the time, good things going to happen.
Talking to 44, Rodrigo, the man, rookie out of Oklahoma State. Let's get away from football. What is a day in the life of Rodrigo when you got an off day and you're not watching film?
Off day? Let's see. So we get an off day.
What are we doing?
This weekend,
take me into your mind.
We're off this weekend, and really just going out to eat, check new places out, check new food out.
I got some recommendations, by the way.
You hit those up later for sure. Okay. And obviously, kind of just being at the house, just chilling, watching movies, playing the game or something like that. New Call of Duty.
Ooh.
Best on the team. Best on the team right here.
I stopped playing Call of Duty, man. I got sniped from about 534 yards by an 11-year-old.
Your highlight.
In group chat, I said, I'm cool.
Yeah,
I said, I'm cool.
He kept that for a highlight now. Yeah,
no, I'm cool.
I
couldn't even see it coming.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was an 11-year-old talking stuff, and I said, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's just one of those things I just like to chill and kind of get my mind off football and just kind of go to eat places and kind of check Michigan all around here.
You say you want to check Michigan out for your 12 weeks or 11 weeks until your rookie year. What were you expecting when you got drafted to the Detroit Lions in terms of the city, and what have you seen thus far?
I was expecting it was going to be snowing all the time, but it hasn't been like that. So, no, I was expecting
fake news.
Yeah, fake. Hey, it's not snowed. It's not snowed as much yet.
It's 50 right now.
I know it's sunny out. Like, I'm surprised. So no, it's nice here.
It'll be 2 degrees tomorrow.
But I didn't expect the food here. Like all the food around here is actually pretty good. Like every spot I've been to, linebacker coach Chef has sending me spots, and I'm like, man, this is actually pretty good food. So. No, it's nice. The weather's nice right here, and I'm used to the cold, so it's not too bad down here.
Good. Let's talk a little bit about college football. You've been watching college football a little bit. You've been watching your Cowboys.
I've been watching the Cowboys.
Okay, talk to me. What do you think about this season so far?
They had some ups and downs. Yeah. They lost a couple of tough games, but it's just the injury thing. Guys trying to stay healthy. Yeah. I talked to my boy back at OSU still, and he said everyone's hurt, so it's just tough. Next man up, you gotta still go out there and compete.
I've always wondered this. What type of coach is Van Gundy? Everybody know. I mean, obviously he came out 15 or so years ago. It was I'm a man, I'm 40, etc. But he seems to always find 9 wins or 8 wins or 10 wins. What type of coach is Mike Van Gundy?
He's very consistent. He leans on his coaches to do the job. He brings coaches in, brings players in that's going to buy in. So, I was a 2 or 3 star guy.
Yeah. Me too.
Took a chance on me. And
me too. 3 stars.
Yeah, exactly. So took a chance on me, and it was it's one of those things the guys are thankful for the opportunity. They go out there and play their heart out. So then he's just a motivational guy. He'll go out there, he'll coach, he'll do special teams, and he just brings a different type of energy. And he's a OSU alum, so everyone loves him. Yeah, exactly. So he played there, so everyone loves him. He's good for the culture. He brought a culture in there, and everyone's buying into the culture. And that's a big thing for OSU. We have a big culture there. And the guys buy in. It's just, stack the wins up after that. Everyone's always close, and the camaraderie. You got guys from small towns, Oklahoma, like me, and you had another boy from back home. We used to play Brock Martin. Used to play against him in high school, right? 3 years in a row we played in the state championship. So we ended up going to the same college and being on the same team for once. So
now you guys can cheer for each other.
Yeah, exactly. So we cheer for each other. So it's cool. He brings those diamonds in the rough for sure. Let's stay in
the Big 12. TCU, undefeated. I believe TCU is ranked 4 right now.
Yep.
Mike Duggan.
Yep.
I want to say is a quarterback.
Max
Excuse me. Max Duggan killing it right now. I want to say he's right around 2,900 yards passing. He's only 3 interceptions. He's killing it. Does TCU have a legitimate chance not to get in, to win it all?
TCU does, for sure.
They do. Tell me why.
I played Max Duggan before. He's a good athlete. He's a running quarterback. He can throw it. And he's just smart. I played him in action. He's fast. He's faster than he looks.
He moves.
So he's moved. But they got a good offense, good system. Defense is good. TCU's defense always been good. So, I feel like they got a real good shot.
That was Patterson's thing, correct? It was the defense. He was a defensive mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think they got a real good shot at winning it this year.
That sounds good. Okay,
and go Big 12. I'm going for Big 12 all the time.
Hey, I love it, man. Yeah. TCU, they go undefeated. They're 4 right now. Obviously, I'm Michigan guy. So
Michigan had a close one with Illinois.
Everybody had a close one that week.
Yeah,
Ohio State had a close one to Northwestern. Ohio State had another close one.
TCU had a close one.
Yeah, TCU and Baylor.
It's just
TCU. It was the run on the field. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was actually well executed too. I saw that. I was like, hey,
16 seconds. Yep. That's what they say. 16 seconds is the goal. You get 16 seconds, you can go on, you can get it set up, and you kick the field goal. Who are the funniest guys on the Detroit Lions?
Ooh, that's tough.
I'm putting you on the spot.
We
Who's
got some
funny?
tough one. Anzalone is definitely he's like a sarcastic, dry type of humor guy.
His last 2 weeks,
he's
been balling.
No, he has. No, he's a baller.
2 weeks.
So he's a funny guy. Then Josh Woods, a linebacker. He's pretty funny. Pretty much linebackers, we're just a funny group. I think we might be the funniest group out there.
You're not funny.
No, we're funny.
You're funny?
Yeah, I don't know. We're a funny group. Some D-line guys are pretty funny, too.
Okay. I feel like Brockers will be funny.
Brockers is funny. Bro, he's got a contagious laugh. Have you ever heard his laugh?
Yeah, and that's what I heard.
It is very contagious. And it's like, man, that is Brockers. Like, you don't even have to, look behind to see who it is. So, no, we got a lot of funny guys, and I feel like there's another one I'm missing.
Defense.
But that's
who would it might be?
Kirby's
Joseph
Kirby.
Talk about Kirby Joseph for a second. Obviously, he doesn't start at the beginning of the year, but we knew that this guy had talent. We knew coming out of Illinois, he was a ball hawk and very disciplined, coached by Bielema. But the last 3 weeks, is this something that you knew was going to happen and you were just waiting for it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, like you said, like I said, next man up. Like, you know, some guys get down. Yeah, he gets in there, balls out. So it's like, all right, man, just give this guy the reins. So he's, you've seen his college tape. I mean, he's all
definitely.
He's all over the field, so we knew that coming in, and that's why he got drafted. Oh yeah, and he's a funny guy. Oh my, dude! Every time I told him we were going out yesterday, I said, "Do not hurt yourself trying to do." He said, "I got you, bro. We're good." He's nonchalant. He's like, "I don't hurt, bro. I do this all the time." So no, he's a funny guy, but he's a ball player for sure. He's a ball hawk, and he's put that ball in the air. He's always going to be around the ball.
Yo, doing that is very nerve-wracking and dangerous. I did a backflip. We played. I was in Cleveland. It's 2008. We played New York Giants on Monday night, like game 3 of the season. And I came out, hit the flip, killed it, but I tightened my hamstring a little bit. So, but I was still good.
You didn't stretch good enough.
I still had 150 touchdowns. Play the game, but the whole game I was like, man, if I could have pulled my hamstring doing some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
But what is the mindset of the Detroit Lions right now, 4-7, very much in the playoff hunt?
Yep.
What is the mindset of the Detroit Lions right now?
Another week to work. I mean, we always have that mindset. We're gritty, every week we come to work and we got a shot every week. Like we're going to win every week. So it's one of those things where you just got to keep coming to work and, bust your tail, and we're going to come out with the win. So that's our mindset. Like you said, we already got used to the winning, the 3-win streak, and we're ready for more. We're not ready, to stop that yet. So everyone's hungry, and everyone's staying hungry. So that's a good thing. All the guys are still hungry, and they want more.
It was a fun game to watch. I mean, obviously, don't have the hands anymore, obviously, but it was a fun game, obviously, into the end. But once again, it's about noticing growth in players. And another player that I want to point out is Jared Goff. Like, so much has been talked about Jared Goff this whole season is, should the Lions draft Bryce Young at 1 or 2 or 3? This is back when you guys were 1-6. Should the Lions draft a quarterback? Should they not take a quarterback? Is Jared Goff the guy? Not to put you on the spot, but what have you seen from Jared Goff as a teammate from 1-6 to now moving forward?
No, he's a smart leader. I see him every week in practice and all that, and you can tell
because he's been to a Super Bowl now.
Yeah. Like, he knows his stuff. Like, he knows the offense like back of his hand, and just to see him like kind of go out there and how he prepares and everything, it's kind of unique because he's kind of a quiet guy. Then he goes out there in the field and he's over here talking and all that. I'm like, okay, and so he's that guy for sure. He showed that he's got the ability to take us there.
All right, so you guys are now 4-7, 11 games. You got 6 games left. What is Malcolm Rodriguez's goal or his plan for the last 6 games? What are you trying to accomplish the last 6 games for yourself personally?
I need an interception.
There it is. I saw it yesterday.
I missed it yesterday, man. It was right.
It was literally right there.
INT, and I need some forced fumbles in there, more TFLs. That'd be nice. But at the end of the day, I just want to win. So I just want to win with the guys, and that's more I can ask for.
Now, do you have hands?
I got hands.
You got hands?
I used to play quarterback back in the day.
BS. Stop playing.
I swear, I used to play quarterback.
I got to see.
I got my high school tape.
I got to see this footage. I know it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I know I can pull it up. What was your favorite pass to throw?
We called it a 420 X post.
Okay.
So I would fake play action pass, wide receiver run an X post, 60, 50 yards.
You just hang it up there.
Launch it up there.
Let the guys go get it.
Oh, yeah. So that was my favorite pass. Then obviously, running the ball. QB Power O was my favorite too.
I'm going to tell you like this. Appreciate having you, but the heavyweights, they were heavy, no pun intended, on you from jump. They were super excited when we got you. You guys have developed a relationship, made me pay attention to you more. And I remember the first time I met you at Rocket Mortgage, and even now, you're just super cool. Yep. You can just tell that you come from good family.
Yep,
you can tell you come from good style. You're an amazing guy.
I appreciate
I
that.
wish you nothing but the best the rest of the season. Let's sneak into these playoffs
Let's go,
and let's
man.
turn it upside down.
Hey, we're just going to get started. Let's go.
Woodwardsports.com. Malcolm Rodriguez, Detroit Lions. This guy's going to be a player for the future to come. Appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you, brother.
100% though. This is Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. We got more to come. Sitck, you ready to do it, baby? We'll get Sitck on in a second, but now we'll come back to you with a commercial.
Feldman, the #1 name for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, is getting bigger and better. This Black Friday weekend, come celebrate the grand opening of the new freestanding Feldman Jeep store. Enjoy free food, live radio remotes from Woodward Sports, and even an autograph signing by former Detroit Red Wing Darren McCarty. Plus, receive a free $100 gas card with the purchase of a new vehicle. Come Jeep out this Friday and Saturday at the new Feldman Jeep at 8731 Dixie Highway in Clarkston.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Yeah, Alta, you know where uptime matters. If you got a big project
Alta.
or a little project, you know, it's that time of year where you're looking at your house like, man, I could use a bigger deck next spring. Well,
Yeah,
Alta
100%.
can help you out. They can bring in all the stuff, all the equipment that you need, and it's real easy. Call 844-GO-TO-ALTA, 844-GO-TO-ALTA, and I said deck over there, fellas. Quit laughing. 844-GO-TO-ALTA, where uptime matters.
Uptime.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, but it's me, Sitck, filling in for Ermanni and Maz today.
All right.
Braylon Edwards.
This guy's left me high and dry, man. It's all
First
good.
segment,
But you came
and
through,
Malcolm
though.
Rodriguez.
Yo, how amazing is Malcolm Rodriguez?
Dude, he's been, honestly, the heavyweights were really early on Malcolm Rodriguez, supporting him, telling us what he could be. You didn't know that, and then all of a sudden this dude shows up, Hard Knocks. He shows up here at the grand opening of the new Jeep dealership for Feldman in Clarkston, and he's
Very beautiful out here, by the
He's
way.
a man amongst the people. You could tell his game is what it is. He's had some big hits yesterday. That interception that Anzalone got, that was Malcolm
his.
Rodriguez's
That was Malcolm Rodriguez's
interception.
interception.
But Anzalone,
You heard him. He says he won INT.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
And, you know, Johnny on the spot, Anzalone gets the interception, and unfortunately the Lions couldn't do anything with it. There was a safety after that.
Yeah.
But 2 points is better than 3. So
It's true.
if I'm the
This is
eternal
true.
optimist, I can look at that. But Malcolm Rodriguez, really awesome for him to come out here to the grand opening of the new Jeep store in Clarkston for Feldman. This place is
Yeah, this
absolutely amazing. That Wagoneer behind you, I want to take home.
I want that Christmas tree.
You want the Christmas tree?
Let's
You
steal
see
the
the owls in the Christmas
That's
tree?
what I was looking at. Oh, wow. No, I did not see the owls. There's one on the top, too. It might be Drake's Christmas tree.
Well, Braylon,
OVO owl season.
how was your Thanksgiving?
It was amazing, man. I stuffed myself. We hosted at the house. Family came over. It was just good, man. I think the most excited part about my Thanksgiving was my sister's daughter, a.k.a. my niece. This is Rain's first Thanksgiving. This is her first holiday season. So I was, you know, I'm Uncle Bray. I'm old. Well, I wasn't older like that, but I'm Uncle Bray. I was like I was going to the end zone. But yeah, just hanging out with my niece, hanging out with my cousins, hanging out with family, grandmas, aunties, uncles. Sometimes you don't realize how much you miss family. Sometimes you don't realize how much you have needed to see family.
Yep.
So yesterday was great. And then obviously, man, my mom, my sister, my grandma put it down in the kitchen.
What was the vibe like while you guys were watching the Lions game? Because Anson was at my house. We were watching it.
Okay.
You know,
Shout out to Anson. I love Anson.
yeah, he's the man. But what was the vibe? Because I was pacing around the studio. I was going nuts. Like, that win, they were just so close from like greatness.
Yeah.
You know, 4 wins in a row, the first undefeated November since 1962, beating the Super Bowl, favorite in Vegas.
Exactly. MVP favorite at one point early in the season.
Like I yesterday on the post-game show, I phrased it like this, like, they're at the party. They're knocking on the door. Yesterday they could have gone in the door and in the party, but they're just still on the porch knocking, which is, it's so tough after an effort like that.
Yeah, well, Thanksgiving, a game comes on at 12:30, so I'm downstairs by myself, not being bothered. I don't want to deal with anybody. I don't want to see you guys. Let me watch the game. Let me dial into the game to pay attention. And it was, there's no such thing as moral victories. Obviously, you can't do the moral victories anymore. And also, everybody in the NFL is close. Every game, I think this year, the average win margin is the lowest it's been since 1932 or something.
Ever.
Something, yeah,
Right.
something, exactly, 32 is ever. But there is a moral victory because when I was watching the Detroit Lions, in order to learn how to win, you got to win. So they won 3 in a row. You get 2 road wins. You beat you beat the Chicago Bears, and then you go on the road. You beat the Giants. So they're starting to learn how to win. Yesterday, it wasn't the same Lions like the Philadelphia Eagles game where they had opportunities, but not so much, if you will. The Detroit Lions played well in spurts yesterday.
Yeah,
players played well. Dan Campbell made some good decisions, some great decisions. He put them in good situations to win. What I noticed about watching the whole game, and this is the difference, the Lions won a couple games. They won 3 games in a row. Now they're winning some games. They're beating the people that they should be. But now is you got to take advantage when opportunities come your way during the game. That's what they didn't do yesterday, in my opinion. That's why they lost. There was so many opportunities that the Buffalo Bills gave them. They missed an extra point.
Yep.
They missed a field goal.
Yep.
They threw an interception.
They gave up a big return.
Stephon Diggs trips and falls when he's wide open.
Yes.
He's wide open for a 20-yard gain.
Yep.
They didn't take advantage of what Buffalo gave them, and I think that's the next step for Dan Campbell and his team is learning how to take advantage.
Yeah, and like I said, they're right there, man.
Yeah.
They're knocking on the door, and it was just such a big moment for them. The Jamal Williams fumble, I think to me, there were like 3 main things that screwed up. The missed field goal, Jamal Williams, and I did not love that call on 3rd and 1. And that's what I've seen a lot of people discussing on Twitter, a lot of people discussing on social media, a lot of people discussing in the WoodwardSports.com chat. That 3rd and 1 call with about 30 seconds left, and you go for it all with Chark. Pressure got put on Goff. He wasn't able to make the throw. I'm not saying similar to, but like a lot of people were saying it was Goff's fault, but that's like blaming Joe Burrow for not hitting that pass in the Super Bowl. Well, Aaron Donald was putting some pressure on him. It kind of made him miss the throw. So what did you think about doing that play on 3rd and 1? Because my philosophy is you run, you try to get the first down, then you got 3 more plays to throw to the end zone, do whatever you want. You got your timeout still, and if they stop you, they still have to use a timeout. Otherwise, you're running out the clock and you're going to overtime.
I didn't mind it. I actually liked it, and this is why. If it's 3rd and 1, the Buffalo Bills do not think that you're going to go for a pass. The Buffalo Bills do not think that you're going to drop back and throw a heave to the end zone or like a fade ball or a 9 route on the sideline is what that's called. They're not thinking that. No one's thinking that. You catch them off guard. You got DJ Chark. He already scored 1 touchdown, so you some confidence there. Jared Goff has made some plays over the last 4 weeks, so it's trust. If Jared Goff gets a little bit more time and throws that ball and DJ Chark either catches it down there, gets a first down, boom, clock, or take a timeout, or catches a touchdown, we're having a whole different conversation.
We're in here celebrating, baby. We're champagne.
Exactly. We're lathered up, man. So it's a whole different conversation. So you know what? I like that Dan Campbell has been consistent. He's been aggressive, and I like that move. I just think a little bit of pressure right there. Goff has to hit quick throw, but
yeah, if you look back at that play too, because they were showing it on Twitter, Mitchell was running wide open up the seam too. Nobody was even guarding him on that play. So, but Goff didn't have time to go through his progression, so he didn't get to that point.
And it's also a guy that Goff hasn't been looking for this whole season, so he's not really on Goff's radar.
Okay,
especially at a time like that when you get a quarterback in that spot, Sitck, when it's 3rd and 1. 31 seconds left, trying to win a game against the Buffalo Bills. You're about to go 4 in a row. All that on the line. Jared Goff is only thinking about Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
Or whoever is the number one option on that play. And in that particular play was DJ Sharp.
Yeah, well, speaking of Amon-Ra St. Brown, on fourth down, that little reverse play to him, or that little, when he was running behind the line
I don't know what that was.
I was shocked they called that play, because a lot of time those plays wind up as tackle for losses or negative plays, but it worked. So, you can't argue with results.
Very true.
That's always my thing. If it works, you were right, I was wrong. But, man, what a risky play. But like you said, Dan Campbell, he's a risky guy.
He's been consistent all year, man. He's number one. Actually, I want to say they snuck to number one in terms of fourth down, going for it, in terms of the decision-making process, coming with trick plays and things like that. Let me ask you this question, Sitck. Where are you with Dan Campbell now in the last 4 weeks as opposed to what we were thinking when they were 1-6?
I never jumped heads and tails off the Dan Campbell bandwagon, so I wasn't one of those guys that, get him out of here now. He needs to go. But I like him a lot better now than I did earlier in the season, because as you know, my biggest frustration was going for it on fourth down when you don't need to.
Right.
I am a firm believer in playing the game the right way, playing a field position game, putting pressure on the opponent as much as you can, never giving them free stuff.
Right.
I'm not going to give you a free turnover. I'm not going to give you free downs. You're going to earn everything you need to earn against me, and that's how I like to watch football be played. Dan Campbell, I thought he was overcompensating for lack of talent a lot of times. Okay. Now I think he understands that he needs to protect the lack of talent, not try to put them out there. And Dan Campbell's grown up before our eyes. I'm almost like a proud parent at some point with this. Earlier in the season, I was like, this guy's an idiot. He's never going to get it. But now it's like,
out of here.
Now he's taken steps forward. The clock management at the end, though, that brings you back to questioning him.
There's a lot of bad clock management yesterday because Sean McDermott, his clock management was horrible.
Yeah.
With 2 timeouts, you got about 67 seconds left in the game, 2 timeouts. He gets it all the way down to 13 without using any one of those timeouts. But going back to Dan Campbell, I agree with you. You're watching him grow up. You're seeing him make some good calls, putting his guys in good situations. They're winning games. They're winning on the road. I think it's turning, definitely, Sitck, in the right direction. It's turning in the right direction. Now, health, 1. And then 2, just capitalizing in those moments, capitalize. Now it's about capitalizing. Now that you know you can, look at the Minnesota game, capitalizing. Look at the Seattle game, capitalizing. Now we look at the game yesterday, Buffalo, capitalizing. Yep. Now that they're starting to roll, now that you can trust Jamal Williams mixed with DeAndre Swift. By the way, what injury does he what is it? With DeAndre Swift.
It's here. It's here.
You think it's mental?
It's totally mental, because you saw his strengths back.
Yeah.
You saw on that play when he scored a touchdown but his knee touched.
Yeah.
He put his foot down.
That was the play.
He went right through them. So it's no longer a physical thing to me. I don't know the guy, so this is just me watching the game. To me, that's the DeAndre Swift you want to see on the field.
Georgia.
When he put his foot down and even though his knee was down, that's fine. He showed strength. He showed leverage. He showed
you
power.
I have that ability.
Yeah.
That I know how to do it. The Detroit Lions are very interesting, man. And, I don't want to get past right now. I don't want to go in the offseason, but I am going to. You look at what the Detroit Lions are doing right now in the last 4 weeks, and then you add to the fact what their draft capital is. You add to the fact the money that they have in terms of Hawkinson's deal and a little other money that they're going to pick up for free agency. You look at their draft position, 5 in the first 65, especially with the Los Angeles Rams. That pick looked like it could be a 5 or a 6. They're in a great position right now as I'm looking at it in terms of structure for the future.
Yeah, they are looking good. And you know what else is looking good? Anybody who goes to Lady Jane's and gets their hair cut. And that's how you do it. They got places all over Metro Detroit and pretty much all over the country and the state. So if you're looking for a beautiful haircut, there's no place for you to go other than Lady Jane's. You walk in, you sit down anytime, and you get treated like a king. Ooh. It is wicked awesome. We are live right now at Feldman Jeep in Clarkston. Braylon, I got a question that I need a former NFL player to answer, and we will do that coming up next right here on WoodwardSports.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Feldman, the #1 name for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, is getting bigger and better. This Black Friday weekend, come celebrate the grand opening of the new freestanding Feldman Jeep store. Enjoy free food, live radio remotes from Woodward Sports, and even an autograph signing by former Detroit Red Wing Darren McCarty. Plus, receive a free $100 gas card with a purchase of a new vehicle. Come Jeep out this Friday and Saturday at the new Feldman Jeep at 8731 Dixie Highway in Clarkston.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
The Monroe Street Midway is back. This time they did a winter edition of it, and it's going to be so fun. Right downtown Detroit, right by Campus Martius Park, right by that big tree. You can go play putt-putt. You can do a bunch of other fun activities while you are down there. We were down there in the summer shooting hoops, having a good time at the Monroe Street Midway.
A lot of fun.
Now the winter edition is there. It's open now, but it's 50 degrees, so you could go enjoy it without having to deal with the winter stuff, too.
I love it.
So while you're downtown, shop, eat, and play, and make sure you hit up all the Bedrock properties, especially the Monroe Street Midway. Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. We are live today at the brand new grand opening of the Feldman Jeep dealership here in Clarkston on woodwardsports.com. Thank you for being a part of the show today. My name is Sitck. That is Braylon Edwards. Flannel Sam is here. Fletch is here. We were talking about the Lions. Malcolm Rodriguez just joined the show. Brady Quinn's going to be joining the show in the second hour. We're going to talk some college football with Brady Quinn. Kind of a big game coming up this weekend for Michigan, Ohio State, I'd say.
I would say so. 1 and 2. I mean, Brady's team has a big game coming up, Notre Dame and Clemson, but definitely a huge game for the Michigan Wolverines. They're 2 and 3, but they're both undefeated. First time since 2006. The game.
Oof.
I was at that game, by the way.
In 06?
Yeah, it's funny. So I was with the Cleveland Browns. That game's on a Saturday. I'm in Cleveland. It's Columbus. So I took a helicopter from Cleveland, John Hopkins to Columbus. Then I go into the game, got to the game, and then left around third. I left maybe like 10 minutes in the fourth. Got back to the airport on time, but they had a small plane this time instead of a helicopter, and it was cold, so they had to de-ice. So in waiting for them to de-ice the plane, when we landed in Cleveland, I was late to the Saturday night meeting by 7 minutes. And let's just say the players and Romeo Cornell, they weren't happy.
Do they lock the door, or they let you in the meeting and just kind of stare at you awkward?
No, they stare at you awkward. And it was so crazy. Let me set
Braylon.
Let me set the scene for you. So the head of HR, the head of community service, she picks me up, Amy Palcic, who now works with the Texans. She picks me up, takes me to the meeting. I have on a Mike Hart jersey. I got my big Michigan hat, Mike Hart jersey, my chains on, and I walk in like 7 minutes late. Everybody's staring at me. And my seat for the team meetings on Saturday is literally in the second row. So I got to walk all the way to the second row.
Walk of shame.
With this Michigan. and we lost. And we lost, and it was just like, what do you want me to do? It's 1 and 2. I never get this moment again. Well, here it is again.
Well, we got 2 and 3 this weekend, so it's going to be a big game. We're going to discuss Michigan, Ohio State coming up a lot in the second hour. Still talking about the Lions, so close yesterday. And Braylon, I got to ask a question for you since you're a former NFL player. I'm going to list the question, then I'm going to explain my thought process behind it. Is there such thing as a good loss? And the reason why I asked that is obviously the Lions were on a 3-game winning streak going into this game. Obviously the Bills are who they are. Josh Allen's who he is. Stephon Diggs is who he is. Oliver came out of nowhere. Like, he dominated.
It was like earlier in the year, and then he
was out of his mind yesterday.
He got nicked up second game of the year. Yeah.
But after the game, after I got done being upset, being angry, being disappointed in that loss, I was thinking that those guys in the locker room, and Malcolm Rodriguez could probably talk more to this too, they're sitting there, they're thinking, man, we just went toe-to-toe with the potential champs. We could have been on a 4-game winning streak. We can play with anybody. Now we got Jacksonville coming into town next week. We got to take care of business this week, and I think it will translate into them just absolutely curb stomping Jacksonville this week coming up. So to me, it's a loss, yes, but it's a loss that they can grow from. If they won, obviously great, but sometimes you can fall back on your laurels a little bit, start getting a big head. All right, it's starting to come easy for us. Will this loss make them work harder?
There is a such thing as a good loss, whether people want to believe it or not. There's a such thing as a good loss.
Okay.
Whether it's you could have won, you should have won, or whether it was a bad game that taught you something about yourself. There's a such thing as a good loss. And yesterday, it's tough because everybody says don't do the moral victory thing. But when you watch that game yesterday, it's everything you said. You're looking at the Buffalo Bills. You're looking at Josh Allen. You're looking at what this team represents, what people believe about this team, what their destiny could be. You as the Detroit Lions, you weren't in the game. You should have won the game. And they know they should have won the game. They played well enough to win the game. They didn't capitalize in a couple moments. So now when you're Malcolm Rodriguez and the rest of the guys in that locker room, you guys are talking like, I've been in this space before. We lost to the Baltimore Ravens when I was with the Jets in 2010. We lost on Monday Night Football, game 1 of the year. We lost 10-9 or something like that. We knew we were better than the Baltimore Ravens, and that game woke us up. So going back to this game, I think it's the same now. Okay. These guys are going to be in the locker room. They're going to be like, yo, the Jacksonville Jaguars, there's no way. Right. The Carolina Panthers, there's no way. The Jets, although the Jets did beat the Buffalo Bills, but so what? There's no way. That's the attitude that the Detroit Lions are going to have the rest of the year.
Yeah, my biggest fear out of all this, though, is if you do come into next week, right, and you do lose to Jacksonville, now the whole narrative of that 3-game winning streak is done. Like, you've spent all that goodwill because now you're right back to where you were. All right, you lose a tough game, and now you flop one to Jacksonville. So that's like, really, this Jacksonville game, now that they lost that game, has become exponentially more important.
This is going to tell you a lot about Dan Campbell as a head coach. That's what I think this game is going to do. If you look at the 1-6 start, and then you go 3 games in a row where you win games, 2 on the road, mind you, including the New York Giants, who were the 5th seed in the NFC at the time. And now you almost beat the Buffalo Bills. But in a manner, it was a good game. Like, Buffalo went home, like, wiping off sweat because they were nervous as hell.
Hell yeah.
Like, they went home wiping off sweat.
They don't want to play Detroit again.
It wasn't like Aaron Rodgers where they're like, you know what, like, man, this team. No, they were wiping off sweat. So now for Dan Campbell, what are you going to do? After you won 3 in a row, you almost beat the Buffalo Bills, who was a team a lot of people picked to come out of the AFC. And you're going against the Jaguars, which is a team that's not going to make the playoffs, team that's not having as good a success as you right now in the last 4 weeks. How are you going to handle that game? How are you going to coach that game? What are you going to get your guys ready to do in that game? This is very important for Dan Campbell.
Yeah, it is.
You can't go backwards.
And that's what I'm afraid of. Yeah. Like, you set the precedent now with that 3-game winning streak. You showed that you can be a successful NFL team. You fell short against one of the very best NFL teams, and everybody will pat you on the head and say you did a good job.
Right.
Could have won the game, but you did a good job. It's a pat on the head game. And if they come out and they lay an egg against Jacksonville, now it's tough. The Dan Campbell thing's still not working. We're not, they're not growing. They're falling apart again. So that's the only thing I really hate about this loss is if it compounds next week. Every Lions hater that's in the WoodwardSports.com chat, every Goff hater that's in the WoodwardSports.com chat, they're going to have a reason to hate. And there's nothing you can say because at the end of the game, at the end of the day, it's wins and losses that matter.
Yeah, you got to capitalize on momentum. Like I said, they won 3 in a row. Or they had won 3 in a row, and then they played really good against the Buffalo Bills for the most part. But you know what they've been doing over the last 4 games, Sitck, is they haven't been turning the ball over. Yep. Obviously, Jamal Williams fumbled.
He's had the most untimely fumbles this year, hasn't he?
It's bad.
Yeah, not that there's ever a good time to fumble, but it seems like both of his have come at like.
Ernest Biner would beg to differ. Ernest Biner would beg to differ. No, but yeah, so they're taking care of the football. Your young players are playing. They're playing discipline. They're making plays. They're showing up. Jared Goff is giving you enough. Like, Jared Goff is giving you enough to win games. He's giving you enough to be in games.
He's not losing you games.
1,000%.
Yep.
1,000%. Aiden Hutchinson is showing that he's the number 2 player that you drafted. Guys are getting hurt. Guys are stepping up. The Lions are doing a lot of good things right now, and that's why I said this is such an important game. Because if they lose to Jacksonville after all the good things they're doing, I feel like that can take that momentum and they could swing the pendulum back the other way.
I hope they do, man, and I hope next week, like I said, that's why I think this could be a good loss, because next week the Lions can come out and have another dominant performance from 0-0 to 0-0, or however it works,
right.
from 15 to 0-0 on the clock. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Like they did against the Giants, because to me that was a complete win, and I haven't seen the Lions have too many complete wins.
An ass whooping.
When's the last time you saw that?
Man, long time.
Yeah,
long time ago.
I think this next week they need to lay another one of those ass whoopings on them. They have to. If they don't, we're going to be having a different conversation. I don't want to go back to that conversation. I'm just having fun this past 3 weeks, man. This has been great.
I feel the energy. I feel like how excited you are. But you're right, though, and they shouldn't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the reason why is the game that they're playing right now. Jamal Williams, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns in the red zone. DeAndre Swift giving you a couple plays when he can, as he can go with his health. Amon-Ra St. Brown playing lights out since he's come back and been healthy. Jared Goff finding receivers, finding checkdowns, finding moments. And then on the other side of the ball, guys are finding the ball. You talk about Aiden Hutchinson, 2 interceptions. Anzalone yesterday, interception. Kirby Joseph, interceptions. A couple guys are getting sacks. Like, that's the thing with the Lions right now. They're playing good ball. If they play like this, they shouldn't lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who started off kind of decent, but they haven't been anything in the last 5 weeks.
Man, you brought up Kirby Joseph, and on that last play to Stephon Diggs, literally like inches away from but knocking that ball down, man.
But that's the difference between elite players. Like, that's not Kirby Joseph's fault. That's called an elite receiver, and that's an elite quarterback. Even though the UCL of his right elbow was bothering him a little bit, when you're great, you find ways to dig it out. We saw Josh Allen throughout that game. He wasn't the same Josh Allen of last year. He wasn't the same Josh Allen from the Los Angeles Rams game 1 of the season, but he still found ways when the time mattered. Like, that's elite.
Yeah, and that's it. Honestly, it was very impressive that the Bills have kept him in, too. They didn't decide to rest him. They're letting him play through this injury. And you heard Tony Romo talk about that, too, during the broadcast, is that you could see him getting better, like slowly with those throws. He said last week against the Browns, he couldn't have made that throw. This week, he's making that throw against the Lions. So it's interesting to me because I think whenever you're in that situation, do I shut down my star quarterback? You should kind of err on the side of caution, but not if it's going to be that detrimental to your team. A 70% Josh Allen is better than 100% Case Keenum at all times.
1,000%, unless they're playing the Saints in Minnesota. But going back to you were talking about wrestling players, Josh Allen. The thing about that is sometimes you get these injuries where the trainer will tell you, Sitck, you know what? The injury is what it is. It can't get any worse.
Right.
And this isn't all the time, but sometimes there are injuries like that. And I have a feeling that the trainers told Josh Allen, they told Sean McDermott, they said, hey, look, it's an injury, it's a nag, but at the end of the day, it's going to be on what he can tolerate, and it's not going to get worse. And if you want to elect to have a little minor surgery at the end of the season, you could do something like that. But right now, it's not going to get worse. It's going to be on him. And I think that's what you're seeing. First game when it happened, the next game, he's kind of like, he's trying to see what he can do, trusting himself a little more. And I think, like you said, yesterday started trusting himself a lot, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it was interesting to hear Tony Romo talk about that injury and about,
it was the throw. I'm so sorry, not to cut you off. It was the throw for me. The Lions tied it, and this is talking about taking advantage. This is talking about, like, you're in a good spot. You tie the game up. It's 25-25. We're going to overtime. Not so fast. That Josh Allen throw to Stephon Diggs, who's wide open. I don't know how he got that wide open, but that right there, that's that elite stuff I'm talking about, and then he's trusting himself.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like Tony Romo was talking about it. It's not that your elbow's sore in the moment all the time. It's when you hit that snap point. That's when you're going to feel the pain. And as long as you can get past that mental block of knowing I'm going to feel pain every time I throw, you get over this injury. And like you said, as long as it doesn't hurt him more, Keep sending them out there, man.
And not to mention, if you pay attention to the game plan yesterday with Josh Allen, he didn't throw a lot of deep passes. Like he literally threw the one that we're talking about on with 30 seconds left to Stephon Diggs. He threw that one. He threw, I want to say, only one other one on the left sideline. So he didn't throw a lot of deep passes. I think that's part of the plan for them to protect that.
Yeah, one thing, though, if I was a Buffalo Bills fan, Josh Allen, get down. You even heard the coach talk about it. Like, we just want him to slide.
Yeah.
Like, that's all we want. That competitive nature, though, you just can't force a guy to do that.
That one run, it was, I mean, obviously, yeah, you want him to get down. He's your guy. He's your future. He's your everything right now and will be in the future. But there was only one that really, I was like, oh. It was the one where he went up it was up the middle, kind of to the left center middle, if you will. He got the first down, and then it looked like he didn't know what he really wanted to do, and so he was very high. That was the one where I was like, okay, yeah, you got to start getting down because they could have really took it to him on that play.
They definitely could have. And the Detroit Lions defense did a pretty good job yesterday, but the defense that does a great job every day, Guardian Alarm. They defend your home and give you that peace of mind where you can just go out of town, visit family for the holidays, and know that your house is under 24/7 surveillance. Guardian Alarm is the one that brings it to you, and it's real easy to get a hold of them. You call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out.
That number again is 1-800-STAY-OUT. And they will come over, set you up with a state-of-the-art Guardian Alarm system so you can have the peace of mind you deserve.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the three biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Feldman, the #1 name for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, is getting bigger and better. This Black Friday weekend, come celebrate the grand opening of the new freestanding Feldman Jeep store. Enjoy free food, live radio remotes from Woodward Sports, and even an autograph signing by former Detroit Red Wing Darren McCarty. Plus, receive a free $100 gas card with a purchase of a new vehicle. Come Jeep out this Friday and Saturday at the new Feldman Jeep at 8731 Dixie Highway in Clarkston.
Hey, if you haven't been to the all-new Big Boy, make sure you go because right now they are running those great specials. Limited time only. It's not just the Slim Jim. It's the Big Jim. The chili cheeseburger is such a tease. And guess what else they got? That new Bacon Blue for you. How about upgrading those fries? You want chili cheese fries? You can do that. Baked potato fries. And how about nacho fries? All going on at Big Boy right now. So make sure you go to your local Big Boy location and get all of the loaded burgers and loaded fries. Welcome back. We are live here. It's Feldman and Clarkston, their brand new Jeep dealership, and this place is like spotless brand new. Like it, you know, they got that new car smell. It's got like that new store smell to it. And it's absolutely gorgeous in here. The people here are amazing. They brought us lunch today. Darren McCarty was doing an autograph signing.
I didn't get any lunch.
Oh, where'd my box go?
No, I'm just messing with you. I'll take something home. So everything is pristine. Like when you look at this is how you know something's brand new. Look at the electrical sockets. Like those things are shining. Everything in this building is shining right now. I'm glad to be. I love Shepherd's Hollow, by the way.
Okay.
I actually played in the Feldman outing. They do something for cancer. I believe Feldman's son was diagnosed with cancer beat cancer, and so now they're big into the cancer donation. Shepherd's Hollow was so beautiful, man. Best public course in the state.
Yeah, that's one thing we do know about the Feldmans is they know how to throw a golf out.
It's a 70s theme, too. Like everybody's wearing, like, funky 70s outfit and golf, and it's a great time, man.
You got bell bottoms, Braylon?
Now, see, I was a last minute addition. Next year, I'm coming with the bell bottoms. I'm coming with the fro.
Yeah, I just pictured like dazed and confused
I'm gonna have
version
the chest hair with the Richard Grieco shirt.
You're gonna be looking like Starsky and Hutch, like Snoop and Starsky and Hutch.
Hey, you do it. Do it. You do it. You do it. Still
talking about the Lions. Thank you to everybody in the WoodwardSports.com chat right now. Let's see. This comment by Wayne W. Hey, Sitck, what hospitals is Brad Holmes scouting for next year's draft picks? That's not fair. That's not fair.
Josh Pascal.
You know what? You bring that up. Let's talk about Jameson Williams, because a lot of people in the WoodwardSports.com chat were also talking about DJ Chark didn't run the last route, didn't run the right route on that last play. Jameson Williams would have run the right route. What do you think Jameson Williams can add to this offense that they don't already have?
You know, I love this, and as I say this, I'm actually looking at Flannel Sam right now because I know Flannel Sam is going to be lockstep in what I have to say. You look at the guys that are game changers in the NFL right now. Jamar Chase last year and what he did in the Super Bowl run. You look at Justin Jefferson and what he's doing. Jeez Louise.
Look at Diggs.
You look at Stephon Diggs. You look at Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
You look at Devontae Smith, who's starting to kind of get there. Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown. You look at these guys, they change the game at any given time in the game. They can go deep. They can go 80. They can methodically, to catch here for 10, catch here for 20, catch here. They can do that and change the game. That's what Jameson Williams is. He follows exactly in the footsteps of the guys that came before him. The guy runs 4.2. The guy's been clocked at 4.2 before. You've seen him. He's a guy that catches with his hands. You're talking about an Alabama team in the national championship that was nowhere near as good as that Georgia team. And guess what? If Jameson Williams doesn't tear his ACL, they beat that Georgia team. What all have we said about that Georgia team? N'Kobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Trayvon Walker.
Greatest defense of all time, potentially.
Lewis Sing, Pickett, George Pickens. Well, guess what? Before he got hurt, they were beating that team. That's what he can do for your team. He can just literally, he gives you like a safety net. He gives you a safety net where you can make some mistakes. You can, fumble some things, if you will, because he can go out there and get you 80-yard touchdown and get you right back in the game.
Yeah, I've always had this theory about, I call him that guy, right? There's that guy, and Jameson Williams to me is that guy. And what I mean by that is, like when you're a fan watching other teams play or you're watching college football,
you're like, why can't we have that guy?
That guy's good. Yeah. That guy's good. That guy's making all the play. DeAndre Levy was another one of that guys to me. When Wisconsin, when he was playing Michigan and Wisconsin, it was like, man, that guy. And then when they drafted him, it's like, they got that guy?
Yeah.
And that's what I felt when they moved up to get Jameson Williams. Obviously, I knew he was one of the better wide receivers coming out. But when you get that guy, it makes me excited because we don't have the Detroit sports don't have too many that guys.
It's funny you say that. I literally was about to go exactly there. I was going to stick with just the Detroit Lions, but you're right. Outside of Mort Sider, outside of it looks like Aiden Hutchinson is starting to fill in that role. Outside of that, basketball, I get it. Cade Cunningham, not necessarily fully sold on him yet in terms of that guy. Damn good player. But in terms of that guy, Jameson Williams is that guy. The Lions haven't had that guys in a long time.
Right.
When's the last time we had one? Calvin Johnson.
He was that guy coming out of Georgia Tech.
Dominican Sue, his first 4 years,
Who's that guy dominating at Nebraska? Right?
And look how I'm done.
That's it.
I ran out of it. Those guys haven't been here in a minute. So it's good that the Detroit Lions has that because in order to win championships, in order to get to the playoffs consistently and then take it to the next level, get to the Super Bowl, and then obviously win one, you got to have about 5 of those guys. Look at guys winning the Super Bowl. Name the last couple teams in the Super Bowl. I can name you 5 guys on those teams.
Yeah, and Cooper Kupp was that guy last year. Aaron Donald.
Guy. Jalen Ramsey. Guy. Odell Beckham.
guy, right?
Like that's how it happens, man.
And it's exciting when you can start to accumulate those players because, Amon-Ra, he's pretty much that guy.
Yeah, he's damn good.
And even when you saw him coming out of USC, I was watching game film on him, and his ability to block downfield is what stood out to me more.
He had a hell of a block yesterday.
Oh, my God. He's a physical wide receiver, and it was like, that's the guy that used to knock people on their ass all the time at USC. We got him.
Being a good blocking wide receiver goes so underrated. It's so under the radar because what happens is you're mixing it up with safeties. You're punking the DB on you when it's not a pass play. You're actually getting in there sometimes with defensive ends and outside linebackers. Once you do that your team sees that, and now your running back, he wants to sell out for you in the passing game so that he wants to pick that blitz up so that you can catch your touchdown. Your teammates are like, I can have that guy in my foxhole. I would love to go in the foxhole with that guy. Meanwhile, on the other side, those defenses, you can wear DBs down by being physical all game. Snap 1 to snap 70 is very different when you're being physical.
Yeah, Hines Ward is another one of those guys that was a great blocker. And then when Joik was on WoodwardSports.com, he would always talk about, hey, the biggest run plays always happen when wide receivers block downfield. So as important as it is to beat that first line, if the wide receivers like you aren't handling your business downfield, it's not going to be a 60-yard run. It's probably going to be about a 30-yard run. Nice. But it's not going to be that game changer without the wide receivers.
Yeah, 100%. Like downfield, like that, you stay on your safeties or you get on the DBs because what happened, those are the fast, those are the very wiry guys that once they get away from you, when you're running back, let's say it's Jamal Williams, when Jamal Williams gets to that second level and he's 13 yards in and he can, this move and that block turns 13 into 50 or it stays at 16 yards, that's where the wide receivers come in, is down the field.
Any blocks in your career that stand out to your head when we're talking about that? Like you ever pancake somebody down the field?
What? I'm a big wideout.
Yeah, you're a big dude.
I took pride in blocking because Lloyd, like I noticed when I was in college, when I would have highlight catches in practice or highlight catches in the game, like Lloyd never really came up to me like in those moments or like great catches. But if I laid somebody out like a block, like Lloyd would say something, he was like, that's how you block number one. So like I kind of took that with me. So when I got to the league, I'm like, look, you're not going to get the ball always, especially in the AFC North in Cleveland. So I start learning and loving the block. I'm trying to think. I got Clay Matthews one time real nasty. Like it was a reverse to Brad Smith, and Clay Matthews was about to come off the edge. I came in motion, but I came in motion like a little further in the backfield, so not just straight down the line, so that I can lunge into him. Lunged into him and knocked him out. He was gone for a minute.
And that's the stuff that, like, you go back in the film room, and you're right.
My sternum.
Your touchdown pass is nice, but when they're showing Braylon knocking Clay Matthews down, the whole room is going nuts behind you, right?
Because I feel like everybody, it's like even fans or teammates or coaches, whatever, what people are supposed to do, that's dope. If you're Josh Allen, it's like, all right, cool. Like, yes, you have 400 yards passing, it's dope. But you're Josh Allen, that's what you're supposed to do. You see Josh Allen go down there and like lay somebody out, or you see Josh Allen get jiggy and run for a 70-yard touchdown. It's the things that you don't think people can do or will do. That's the things that get people excited.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's the type of football I love too.
I love
That's real football.
It is. It's the gritty football. And you know what? It's November right now, about to be December. That's what time it is in the NFL. You're going to see teams more physical. You're going to see all the highlights in the 400-yard passing and all the other stuff. That's going to come down a bit. Now is going to be the guys that are going that run. The most important time in the NFL is literally that Thanksgiving week through January.
And I think the Lions are built for this. They're built for that physical run.
Yeah.
I hope they are. They are.
You heard 44. Malcolm Rodriguez said in the same chair you're in right now. He told us the same thing. He said, we want to win. He said, game by game, that's my goal. I said, what are your goals? He wants to get an INT, and he said he wants to win, but we can do it. So I believe him.
I believe him, too. And you mentioned it's November, it's December. That means the sun's not going to be up much. But you know what? You can go get that vitamin D at Chili Peppers Tanning. They got the hottest bulbs. They got the cleanest rooms. And they will get you that deep, dark tan that you desire all winter long, even if you do live here in Michigan, where the pale people reside. I am one of the pale people. I need to go to Chili Peppers Tanning. So make sure you go check them out. And while you're there, join the Pepper Club so you can save a bunch of money too. Chili Peppers Tanning. Go get your tan on.
Tan.
Feldman, the #1 name for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, is getting bigger and better. This Black Friday weekend, come celebrate the grand opening of the new freestanding Feldman Jeep store. Enjoy free food, live radio remotes from Woodward Sports, and even an autograph signing by former Detroit Red Wing Darren McCarty. Plus, receive a free $100 gas card with the purchase of a new vehicle. Come Jeep out this Friday and Saturday at the new Feldman Jeep at 8731 Dixie Highway in Clarkston.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brady Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag out. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Time to tell you about Centron. Energy drink that's amazing. Cranberry is my flavor, but now they have partnered up with the Detroit Red Wings as well as WoodwardSports.com to bring you a limited edition six-pack. That's their 3 flavors, the cranberry, the sugar-free, and the original, because they're trying to re-energize the community. That's why they also partner with the Detroit Pistons as well. So let them. We're trying to hang out and be crowned by the kings. That is Centron. Drink it. Live it with Centron.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. We are live today on site in Clarkston at the brand new Jeep dealership for Feldman.
Spanking.
And I did not know this, but this is like one of the only Jeep-only dealerships in the country. There's only like 10 of them. So this is only Jeep.
This is only Jeep.
Yep, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
You can't get any other cars here.
They had the little timeline of the history of the Jeep up around the wall. Yeah, they got the Wagoneer behind us.
The Jeep heritage.
They got a Wrangler. There was a Compass behind us earlier, but you know what? They already sold it. They had to clear out the room, and we had to move the desk, and they drove the Compass straight out of here. So yeah, if you're looking for a great deal on a car this Black Friday or tomorrow, stop on by and just check this dealership out. It's literally one of the most beautiful. Terry said it. It kind of reminds you of like a really nice hotel in a metropolitan area, like doesn't it?
I see what you're saying.
You got the tall ceilings,
Definitely.
the nice windows,
Maybe
beautiful
like
wood.
Kind of like the Weston, like the Weston decor a little bit. What's your favorite Jeep?
My favorite Jeep? I'm a Wrangler guy.
You're a Wrangler guy?
My first car was a '97 Wrangler,
there
a little white one, 2-door. You know, like I didn't have any bells or whistles on it, but I abused the hell out of that car, and it withstood everything I put it through. So
Jeep made a Grand. I'm trying to remember. It was a Grand Cherokee or something in 2015.
Okay,
that was amazing. It was fast as hell. I think they've had it was legitimately ridiculously fast.
There was one in like '96.
No, it's not a Hellcat because that'd be Charger.
It could have been a Hellcat. There was one in '96 where they put the Viper vents on the Jeep Cherokee.
I know what you're talking about.
it was fast.
That's fire. I used to love that one too. The '92.
Yeah, especially
the black and gold.
I was gonna say, especially in that color too.
Yeah, black and gold was special.
But yeah, come down, get yourself a Jeep. If not, just come down and check out this dealership. It's absolutely amazing. The people here are awesome, and like I said, they're literally pulling them off the floor while we're here.
Right? I can't believe they sold one while you guys were here.
It was awesome. The guy drove it right off the floor. All right, Braylon. Hour number 2, we spent a lot of time talking about the Lions. We had Malcolm Rodriguez on in the first hour. Hour number 2, we got Brady Quinn coming on probably in about 45 minutes. But before we get to that, we got to talk about the game. I mean, this is it. This is what you play all season for. This is what you go 11-0 for. But after tonight, 11-0 doesn't matter. You want to go 1-0 in your next game. Otherwise, the season was not a waste, but the season isn't what you wanted it to be.
100%. Last year, the University of Michigan Wolverines, they beat Ohio State in Ann Arbor to go to the Big Ten Championship. They beat Iowa to go to the playoffs. They've been there. They're trying to take that next step. The next step for Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines is to win the playoff game and get to the final dance. 11-0 is beautiful. 11-0 is special. All that sounds
nice.
good.
Yep.
It looks good. Hey, you're 23 and 2 in your last 25 games. It's special. But if you don't beat Ohio State, then it says something about Jim Harbaugh. And it says something. What everybody was talking about, whether it's the schedule or we don't believe in Jim Harbaugh's team or we don't believe in J.J. McCarthy, if they don't go down there and win, then what everybody said will come into fruition, and then Michigan will find themselves trying to figure out next year what to change and what to do. You're here. You're here for a reason. And also, this is what people forget. The reigning, defending Big Ten champions are the Michigan Wolverines and not the Ohio State Buckeyes. And the reason why they won last year, Sitck, they won in the trenches. Yep. They won with physicality on the offensive line, and they won with physicality on the defensive line, Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo. Keep that same physicality, because Ryan Day's Ohio State is not the same as Ohio State has been in the past.
Yeah, and to me it's styles make boxing matches. True. Styles also make football games, and that's what I think is going to be really interesting about this one this week is, the air raid attack from Ohio State versus the ground and pound from Michigan, and which is going to win out. Michigan obviously is having some injury issues at running back. Blake Corum, have we gotten an update if he's absolutely going to be out or absolutely going to play? I think it's still kind of up in the air at this point, right?
I got an inside information.
I
got inside information he's playing.
Okay.
I got inside information he's 100% playing. Trust me, it is a very credible source. He will be playing, but at what level will be the question. Like, at what level? I feel like this is 2 years in a row. You look at last year. Remember Blake Corum got injured against Rutgers and then didn't play against Maryland, and then he was about 77% in the O State game. He had the 2 big plays, but remember he got caught because he was tweaking. And then obviously in the Iowa game he gets a lot better. But what Blake Corum will we see in Columbus on Saturday? And also J.J. McCarthy.
Yes.
J.J. McCarthy. It's time for Jim Harbaugh to put him in a situation and take the reins off.
I mean, we brought up J.J. McCarthy. That means we got to bring in Flannel Sam, right?
Oh, there he is.
I mean, the two go hand in hand at this point. Anything Michigan, you got to bring in Flannel Sam. Flannel, J.J. McCarthy actually just put an article up on woodwardsports.com. He is quoted as saying, "It just feels like the stars are aligning, and now it's finally here. It's meant to be." Ooh. What do you take away from those quotes from J.J. McCarthy, and is it meant to be?
I mean, meant to be is kind of a strong statement, right? But yeah, I mean, they're 11-0. They've gotten this far with J.J. McCarthy at their quarterback, Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, obviously a dominant offensive line, good defense. At this point, though, going into that game, if they win this game, they're going to the Big Ten championship. They'll probably beat whoever's in the Big Ten West, and they're going to the college football playoff. So that would be
a match. De La Salle High School in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, that's almost
West,
like
be a better game.
My God.
Yeah, that's almost a walkover at this point. So I get what he's saying. This could end up being a magical season, and maybe this is the game that, I don't know, JJ hits a couple of those deep throws. Maybe they open it up a little bit. I know I've said that for a really long time, but they might have to JJ might have to make a couple of those plays that he hasn't made throughout the season, whether with his legs or with his arm. And whether he can do it or not, it's yet to be seen. But this is the game to kind of make your legacy. Go into Columbus, play the game of your life, and Michigan, go get that W.
Yeah, 100%. You talk about J.J. McCarthy. You talk about him saying it feels like the stars are aligning. It feels like it's meant to be. And I understand, Flannel Sam had a little bit of pushback. Kind of maybe. I'm going to tell you why I understand what he's saying, Flannel Sam. Just look at Michigan from the Georgia game till now. So they lose the Georgia game. They got embarrassed. They got whooped in the Georgia game. They weren't ready to be amongst the elite. They get whooped. Then what happens? Now all of a sudden Jim Harbaugh's flirting with going to the NFL. And now he interviews. He goes to Minnesota. He think he has the
I forgot all about that. I forgot all about that.
He think he has the job. And guess what? They actually interviewed him. He was like, I didn't know I had to interview. Now he comes back. Gaddis leaves. McDonald goes to the Baltimore Ravens.
Back to his brother.
David Ojabo leaves. Aiden Hutchinson leaves before the season starts. And then JJ gets injured during spring ball. Cade and him can't really have a back and forth because he's not playing. He's injured. Cade's the guy. JJ takes over the starting job over Cade, which is the guy that got you to the playoffs last year. And now, even before the season started, no one had Michigan ranked in the top 10. I believe they were 14 in the highest poll. So if you look at that, I can see why JJ is saying, like, it feels like the right time. Lose to Georgia. They come back through all of that. They're 11-0. They finally beat Michigan State. They're not a good team, but it's still a rivalry. Finally beat Michigan State. They're going to the place that they have not won in 22 years. It's lining up for Michigan. I kind of get it.
Yeah, but you got to have that confidence, too, as a quarterback,
you gotta
right?
make a play, though.
And that's the thing. Like, he had his chance last week to make a couple big throws, and they did not come through. And, you know,
some drops, too.
As somebody who isn't, I'm not the biggest college football fan, but obviously I watch the games. Right. I haven't seen J.J. McCarthy deliver on what I was told he was going to be. And I'm not just saying from Flannel Sam, who promised me that he was going to be a Heisman candidate. I don't need him to be a Heisman.
Ryan Ermanni, too, by the way.
Yeah, Ryan Ermanni as well. I don't need him to be a Heisman candidate. But to me, it's almost impossible to just turn it on. Like, you have to be in rhythm with your wide receivers. You have to be in rhythm with your offense in order for it to come to fruition during a game. Do you think that they can go from 0 to 60 against Ohio State?
Look, J.J. McCarthy is supposed to be the end-all, be-all. J.J. McCarthy is supposed to have a chance to be the best quarterback in Michigan history. J.J. McCarthy is a 5-star. Jim Harbaugh chose to bench Cade McNamara for J.J. McCarthy. So you know what? They got to make it happen. One of the biggest concerns that I have, and this is something I paid attention to early on in the year, and now it's starting to show its ugly head. People didn't pay attention to Josh Gaddis leaving. People didn't pay attention to that enough. And the reason why I say that, Josh Gaddis was here 3 years. First 2 years, offense was annoying. It was horrible. Everybody was calling for Josh Gaddis' head.
Yep.
But then somewhere around Game 5 last year, Josh Gaddis' offense started to work. You see the Wisconsin in the fourth quarter. You see the Penn State game where he calls that play to Eric All that they have been working on for over a year. You see the Michigan State game where he puts Cade McNamara in a situation to have 384 yards passing. Who the hell knew Cade McNamara could pass for 384? You look at the Maryland game where you throw the ball to Donovan Edwards for 170 yards. You look at the Iowa game with the trick play in the first 2 series. You look at the Ohio State game, the first series of the game when they scored that touchdown, they have been running that same jet sweep with A.J. Henning the whole season. Everybody knew it was coming. They ran a fake reverse jet sweep and then threw a touchdown pass to him. That's what they're missing because Sharon Moore as well as Weiss, they just seem like they're butting heads and trying to figure it out. Like
right.
That's the one thing that scares me for J.J. McCarthy because that's not his fault.
You brought up a name that I don't think has been brought up enough this season, and once again, it's an injury conversation. Not sure his participation level, but when you bring up Donovan Edwards, to me, that's the key for Michigan to beat Ohio State. And you brought up the one game against Maryland. What do you have, 10 receptions, 170 yards?
170 yards, yeah.
But you haven't seen that since, which is – I don't understand. When you have a weapon as versatile as he is, you get him out on the edge and you get him involved in the offense. And to me, that could alleviate some of J.J. McCarthy's stress is having a Donovan Edwards in the slot or putting him in the backfield, then motioning him out in the slot so you can tell, all right, man coverage,
right.
Linebacker's covering, or is it a safety coming down trying to cover this guy? Either way, he's a physical mismatch for whoever is on him. That's why I think Donovan Edwards needs to have a statement game this weekend for Michigan to beat Ohio State.
I agree with you. Donovan Edwards is a guy that you've seen him make plays last year. You saw the trick plays. People forgot that he played quarterback at West Bloomfield High School. Through that, that might have been the best pass I saw anybody throw for Michigan.
He might be the best quarterback on the roster.
To be honest, though. But it goes back to what I'm talking about in terms of Sharon Moore as well as Weiss being first-year guys, and they don't know who's the main head coach, who's the main offensive coordinator, who has veto power. They're trying to figure it out. The other thing is, last year, Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum, they complemented each other wonderfully because Blake Corum is a guy who can catch out the backfield. He's a shifty guy.
Yep.
He's faster. He can do these things. He's that guy. Hassan Haskins, he's a guy that's going to beat you up and wear you down like he did Ohio State last year. Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum are very similar in terms of the styles that they run. So there's no change up with those guys. And I feel like the offensive coordinator, they got to find a way to make that work because you can't take Blake Corum out the game and then run the same exact plays that you would run with Blake Corum with Donovan Edwards because guess what? The defense, we've seen this before.
And that's got to be tough for a coach to make that decision, too, because when you're looking at a player like Donovan Edwards, who's so dynamic, and we joked around when you and I went to the Penn State game that
was a lot of fun, by the way.
That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Shout out to Lamar Woodley, too, man.
There we go.
Great hanging out with you. But, like, we were joking around that Donovan Edwards may be the best running back on this team, but Blake Corum's up for the Heisman. And that's crazy, as a coaching staff, does that play in the back of your mind like, hey, Donovan may be our better chance, but we can't take this moment away from the guy who's actually performing every time we're handing him the ball, too? So it kind of puts you in a rough situation, doesn't it, as a coach?
It does, but that's the interesting thing is I think, we've had this conversation. Me and Ryan talked about this where, Donovan Edwards could be the best running back on the team, but Blake Corum, he's the guy, seniority, it's his, and he's balling, by the way. But the thing about it is Donovan Edwards a better running back than Blake Corum, or is Donovan Edwards a more explosive player and he has more intangibles? Because I don't think he's a better running back. This is just me. I speak for myself.
Yeah.
I don't think right now Donovan Edwards is a better running back than Blake Corum. Not in the least bit. But in terms of everything else that Donovan Edwards can do, the intangibles, his IQ, I think he's better in that regard. Blake Corum's the best running back on the team.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a good game on Saturday. We're going to discuss this more coming up on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. But you want to talk about feeling good? Lose some weight.
Ooh, I know, right?
I'm somebody
easy, especially after Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, especially after you pounded all that turkey. Now you need a custom health center approach to your weight loss. Ryan Ermanni is all up on it. He's already down over 15 pounds. He's feeling good. By the way. And you know what? I was up around 230, 240 about a year ago, down around 190 now. And I'm telling you, the pressure it takes off your knees, off your back, just you feel better when you lose weight, and that's where custom health centers can help you out. So get on the phone today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health at 844-789-8446. That's 844-789-8446.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Feldman, the #1 name for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, is getting bigger and better. This Black Friday weekend, come celebrate the grand opening of the new freestanding Feldman Jeep store. Enjoy free food, live radio remotes from Woodward Sports, and even an autograph signing by former Detroit Red Wing Darren McCarty. Plus, receive a free $100 gas card with the purchase of a new vehicle. Come Jeep out this Friday and Saturday at the new Feldman Jeep at 8731 Dixie Highway in Clarkston.
Time to tell you about my man Mike Phillips at Keller Williams Legacy out there in Dearborn. Amazing group that they have. Everybody there is so wonderful. But guess what? The best thing that they do, you want to buy, you want to sell, you want to invest in a home, well, they'll get you together. 23 years Mike Phillips is doing this, and that's why he is #1 in the game. Whether you're a fan, whether you're a player, making you his #1 priority in selling and investing is what he does. Call right now, 313-403-0011. Once again, 313-403-0011. Game on.
And what a handsome man Mike Phillips is on that picture there,
so
man.
Cool, man. such a good dude. He really cares about community and family. Like, when you see values and things like that, man, you just know a guy's going to be a good person. He's a great dude.
And that's one of the cool things about all the partners with WoodwardSports.com. Like, we did a live broadcast down with Michael Phillips at his location in Dearborn, and the whole family was there. They had a food truck, and it was just a good
that burger
time.
was amazing. I can't think of the name of that That food truck, that burger was amazing.
And then today we're here live at Feldman Jeep in Clarkston, their brand new location off Dixie Highway in 75. And when we say brand new, we mean like brand new. They cut the tape for us to be able to come in today. But you can come on and get a great deal on a Jeep, get a Wagoneer, get a Wrangler. Their lot right now
what do you
is
think about
full.
The Wagoneer?
The Wagoneer?
I think it's kind of fire.
I think it's awesome. And as soon as I get my big boy pants on, I'm going to be able to get one of those, and that's what I'll be rolling around in. Because
nice.
I went and sat in that thing too. And me and you are both 6'4" gentlemen.
Yeah,
like it's tough for us to fit in some cars.
Who you telling?
So,
how much does it start at?
That one there is $91,000.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
You gotta have some chips.
That's what I'm saying. I gotta get my game up, and then I'll get that.
Chips.
Right now, I drive a beautiful Grand Cherokee, and
there you
it's
go.
one of the best cars I've ever owned, if not the best car I've ever owned.
You're in the family.
Yeah. Oh, Jeep. I've only owned Chrysler products my whole life. I started with a Jeep Cherokee, then I went to a Jeep Wrangler, then I went to a Durango, and now I'm back to a Jeep Grand Cherokee.
I was always an Explorer guy. Like you know, back in the day, it was like, are you Jeep Cherokee or are you Explorer? I was always Explorer. My mom had Explorers. Everybody, we had the A plan. Bless you over there, Flex. Like we had the A plan. It was Explorer, and then I had Explorer in college. So I was always Explorer guy, but I always used to like Grand Cherokee. Under the radar.
Couldn't admit it, but I like that Grand Cherokee.
Sneaky. It's like, I like Grand Cherokee.
No, Jeep makes great products. I've been a big Chrysler guy forever. So, yeah, it's awesome to be out here, especially in this beautiful facility. Braylon, since it is rivalry week, we can get into the analytics of the game. We've talked about all that, but you are different because you've played in this rivalry.
I have. 4 times.
What is the lead up to this? What is the talk in the locker room? What is the psyche for a Michigan football team getting ready to head into the Horseshoe?
Well, once the game is over on Saturday, and I'm speaking of last Saturday, once the game is over, like Sunday it starts. Like, and Sunday you feel it. Like you feel it because then the atmosphere changes on campus. You got the people that you got, your fellow students that you're going to class with. They're talking about it.
Yep.
Like you can see all the Michigan stuff. Like you start to watch TV. You start to see classic games, if you will.
Yep.
You start to see the analysts that used to play in a rivalry, whether it's Desmond Howard, whether it's Joey Galloway, whether it's Kirk Herbstreit, whether it's Charles Woodson. So you start to see that and you start to feel it. And, you know, you practice hard. You get after it. You really get after it. But around Thursday, like it starts to calm down. Like it starts to calm down Thursday night. You're like, okay, it's good. You go through your routine. Friday, you travel. If this year they'll travel. It's in Columbus. You know, you go team meetings, team movies. You get in your room, and you really just zone out. I literally spent those Friday nights, the night before Ohio State. I just spent thinking about. It's like a movie called The Dirty Dozen.
Okay.
With Jim Brown and a bunch of those guys.
Yep.
And at the end of the movie, they're going on this suicide mission. And basically their commander, their lieutenant, he tells them the plan, and they repeat it back to him. What their assignments are literally for the last 2 weeks. That's kind of how it is, man. You zone out, you go in the room, and you're like, all right, cool. On this play, this is what I have. If I see this, what is Chris Gamble going to do on this play? If Mike Doss comes up on this one, if Will Smith comes up on this one.
I love how you're listing the players that you played against. Like this is a real thought. You've had these conversations in your head.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, here's A.J. Hawk. He's calling out the play already. What is Shad Henney going to do? Is Shad going to look at me? Like, you go through all of this, and when you wake up on Saturday, man, it's business as usual. But Saturday is the easiest day. Like, it's the lead up to that where you get butterflies, you get antsy, you get nervous, you get excited.
Your family calling you and stuff too,
100%.
hyping you up.
Yeah. All your family, your boys, everybody's calling you. It's like, yo, man, what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna go out there? Y'all gonna make it happen? Y'all gonna barbecue? Y'all gonna meal do? Like, what are you guys gonna do? And now, I didn't have social media when I was in college.
Right.
I mean, we had Twitter, but not Twitter, but Facebook. But outside of that, they have to deal with all of that for 7 days. Social, Twitter, IG, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. So I can only imagine.
If you were in college, would you have shut down like your Twitter for a week like this?
Nah.
No, you're feeding into it. You're diving all the way in.
I want it all.
Yeah.
I want it all though. Like, pause. I want it all. Like, I want to see what everybody is saying. I want to make them eat crow. I want everything. I want the haters. I want everything. So when I go in that game, when it's all said and done, then I can be like,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm a casual fan when it comes to U of M. I do root for them. I have a special hate for Ohio State, and I wrote an article about it on woodwardsports.com. It's called Why I Hate Ohio State, and it stems from the Ohio State-Michigan game. I was 16 years old in 1997. A friend of mine, Adam, both of his parents graduated from Ohio State, and they invited me to go to the Ohio State-Michigan game with them that year. That was the David Boston, Charles Woodson year.
Sir.
And since they were Ohio State alums, there's an Ohio State section, so I wound up sitting in the Ohio State section with all of them.
That's tough.
But I didn't know the depth of this rivalry at that point. Like, I just knew, these are two good football teams. They're playing each other.
That's
like,
different, man.
I knew rivalry from high school. Like, I go to St. Mary's. We hate CC. We hate Brother Rice. But this is different. This isn't just a rivalry. This is like, you hate family, you hate kin, you hate like bloodline. It's not just about I don't like that team. Yeah. It's about I don't like anything about that state, those people. Yeah. And while I'm cheering for the game, Charles Woodson, second quarter, I believe it was, returns that punt for a touchdown. And I'm just going nuts like a regular 16-year-old. This hillbilly from Ohio State grabs me by the back of my neck, whips me back, and starts talking trash to me. He had to be about 45, 50 years old. I'm a 16-year-old kid. I was a tall 16-year-old. I'm a 16-year-old kid.
Hey, man. Sounds like an Ohio person.
And that's exactly why. In that moment, I learned this guy hates me for no other reason than I was born on a state line above him.
Yeah.
And I better learn to hate them because I know that they see me coming. They already hate me. And that's where I grew. Like, I am not involved in this at all. But when Ohio State gets brought up, I'm like, all right, Michigan, roll these dudes. Michigan State, let's have fun. Boys will be boys. Penn State, 100%. Okay, beat Penn State. Wisconsin, beat. But Ohio State, ooh. I want them to take care of that 45-year-old man every time they're on the field.
Yo, 100%, man. You got to look at it like this. Michigan, Ohio State have been the most productive teams in Big Ten history. Obviously, Michigan got off to a great start from 1887 until 2001, if you will. But when Bo Schembechler left the staff, after coaching under Woody Hayes, who was his mentor, who got him in the game, he leaves to coach a rival. Now, they were just a rival at the time. It was like, it's a rival, but it wasn't what it is now. So he leaves. This is his understudy. And then that next year, 1969, Ohio State's the #1 team in the country. And they're playing against a Michigan team that nobody gave a chance to do anything that year. Michigan beat them.
Yeah.
And it starts the 10-year war in which Michigan wins 8. I think Michigan wins 8 of 10. And then that starts the hate because now it's Bo hates Woody. They coached on each other, and now it's the 10-year war. We cost them from winning the national championship a couple times over. Now that's when the hate rivalry starts. Plus, the state of Ohio has always hated the state of Michigan. That goes way beyond Ohio State and Michigan.
There's a documentary right now called Rivals that's out, and it was about Ohio State, Michigan, and they were talking about that. And Dan Dierdorf was talking about how Michigan, they got the brakes beat off them about 50-14 the year before they went into Ohio State, and that's the exact game you're talking about. And they were talking, that's when this thing became like 100%. real.
Dierdorf,
The 1900s, 1930s, all that stuff. That was fun. They were going back and forth. Michigan had the clear advantage, but when that happened, that totally changed the game because you snatched the greatness away from what Ohio State was supposed to be.
Snatched it right from under them, right out from under them. And then also you're talking about they are about 215, 20 give or take miles down the road.
Yep.
They're right on the border. Like it's so close yet so far. Ohio doesn't like Michigan. I remember when I was in Cleveland playing in Cleveland. I hated it, but when I was playing in Cleveland, especially around these times, it's the Michigan games, you can go like show your ID for something, whatever you have to show your ID for. They see that Michigan ID, the Michigan driver's license. Oh man, Michigan, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
Like it's a Michigan's driver's license. It doesn't say University of Michigan. It says the state of Michigan. Whether my license plate on my car, like they hate the state of Michigan.
Yeah, I mean it's so much of a clown show where they put X's over M's during this week on their campus.
Too much. That means we live rent free in your head.
That just means that just means
they
you're a
win
child.
A lot, though, so I mean I guess it's worked for them. But
well, they haven't beaten Michigan in over 1,000 days.
I'll tell you like this
on the football field.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
you're only as good as your last game. Last time I checked, Michigan beat Ohio State last year.
Yeah, well, and then they took the year before that off. So it's been over 1,000 days since Ohio State has tasted victory over Michigan on the football field. But Braylon, you're rocking a sweet hoodie right now, and you were out there today. Tell us a little bit about our friends at Moneyball.
So the good thing about Moneyball is I've known Desmond Ferguson, who is the owner and proprietor of
Go
Moneyball.
Titans.
Well, you already know about UAD, man, Callahan Hall. So I've known him a very long time, and to watch his brand, Moneyball Sportswear, just grow. I was down there today, and this shop is amazing, man. It's literally right on Southfield Road between 12 and 13. Shop's amazing, man. The stuff fits amazing. It fits good. The materials are great. It's quality material. Like, I literally don't take this hoodie off. I wear it all the time. Maybe I should watch it or something. I don't know. But go to moneyballsportswear.com. I'm telling you, man, some good stuff, man. And also, they support high schools. That's one of their big thing is providing uniforms for high schools. You're talking about a great guy. You're talking about a great product and a great brand. Moneyball Sportswear.
Feldman, the #1 name for Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, is getting bigger and better. This Black Friday weekend, come celebrate the grand opening of the new freestanding Feldman Jeep store. Enjoy free food, live radio remotes from Woodward Sports, and even an autograph signing by former Detroit Red Wing Darren McCarty. Plus, receive a free $100 gas card with the purchase of a new vehicle. Come Jeep out this Friday and Saturday at the new Feldman Jeep at 8731 Dixie Highway in Clarkston.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hey, if you're looking to get yourself a brand new Cadillac, guess what? Les Stanford going to take care of your first month rent-free. Just like we live in Ohio State's head rent-free, Les Stanford going to take care of your first month's rent on any new Cadillac rent-free. And they are located in Dearborn off Michigan Avenue. Plus, it's Cyber Friday or Cyber Monday coming up. They got Cyber Cash for you, $500 off a Chevy as well. So make sure you hit up Les Stanford in Dearborn and find new roads.
Also, time to tell you about Swiss. Swiss Insurance Group and their employees are heavily involved in their community. It is very rewarding, but it comes with great responsibility. If you sit on local youth sports board, homeowners association, or volunteer coach, directors and officers insurance is a must. Make sure the kids, the parents, and the volunteers are protected. And the best way to do that, go see my man Mark at Swiss Insurance Group.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. We are live on site today. Feldman Jeep, brand new spot in Clarkston right here on Dixie Highway and 75. Make sure you stop on out today and tomorrow. They got some great deals running for you. Beautiful, beautiful place, and the Feldman crew always treats us so well. You know, this is 2 times out of Feldman. Feldman at Novi on Monday, Feldman here in Clarkston on Friday.
Yeah,
so we've been partying with Feldman.
It's literally so nice in here. Like, if anybody just came in here, they would buy something. Like,
I think I'm just going to come here and, like, have a coffee and do my homework and stuff like that. Like, this is a nice study spot. Yeah.
This would be like your Starbucks.
I'll sit in the back of the Wagoneer
College
and lay the chairs
Birmingham
back.
roast, if you will.
There we go.
There you go.
You know, we've talked a lot about the Michigan-Ohio State game. I still see a lot of people in the WoodwardSports.com chat. We got to kind of go back to some Lions stuff just for a second because Brady's going to be on in a little bit. Brady Quinn's going to come up in about 15 minutes, so stick around for Brady Quinn, and we'll talk more about the OSU-Michigan game then. But the biggest debate going on in the WoodwardSports.com chat is about Jared Goff. Where are you with Jared Goff?
Ouch. Put me on the spot, huh?
Yeah. Well, I could. You know where I'm at, kind of.
Yeah, I know. You like him. Like, he's your guy. You believe that he's good enough to get you where you want to ultimately
Yes, I don't believe he's great, but I believe he's good enough.
You know what's funny is, like, as you had this conversation, you go through the beginning of the season where you're like, hey, let's get Bryce Stroud, or let's get let's get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. Hendon Hooker's name came up a couple times before he got hurt. And you're like, yeah, we can do that because Jared Goff, I just hadn't seen him be the guy that can win you those games.
Right.
Like, if you want to have an elite guy, if you want to win a Super Bowl, if you want to get it all, you got to have a guy that can win you a couple games. Like, you got to have a guy that can win you 2-3 games, like on his own. Not on his own, but make some plays out of nothing. But then you watch and you're like, you know what? If I'm assessing Jared Goff, he's going to have Jameson Williams at some point. He's going to have Jameson Williams next to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then DJ Chark, but he's on a 1 year. But then DeAndre Swift. We're still going to say he's healthy. I mean, if we're gonna go, I'm still supporting DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
I got to see it. You got Jamal Williams. You still have the good offensive line. By the way, Penei Sewell, the most penalized alignment in the NFL. I need him to correct that.
Yeah,
but
that false start hurt.
Yeah, it did. But when you're looking at it from that lens, it's no guarantee that draft quarterback is going to work. It's especially C.J. Stroud coming out of Ohio State. We've seen what they've done, with the exception of what Justin Fields could potentially do. With Bryce Young, he falls to the category of Kyler Murray and the shorter quarterbacks. You're like, I don't know if I want a shorter quarterback, although I think he's an amazing talent. But you don't know. And Jared Goff has shown you at times that, you know what, if we put the right things around him, just like any team that wins the Super Bowl or any team that gets there, they got pieces around that quarterback and that player. So I actually, to be honest, I don't know.
And that's fair, but that's fine.
I don't know.
That's a fine answer,
yeah,
Braylon.
I don't know.
And that's what
I want to say no.
That's what really drives me nuts about these people.
But then he does stuff, and you're like,
right,
that looked okay.
But that's an intelligent answer.
Yeah.
You don't. It's just like Dan Campbell. We don't know if Dan Campbell is a good coach yet. We don't. He has flashes of it. We've seen things that go well, but we've also seen things that go terribly wrong. And that's why, like, when someone's just like, Goff's trash, he's awful. Yeah. It's like, no, you don't know. You don't know. So quit telling me something that you don't know, and I'll quit trying to sell you something that I don't know. Let's just settle on he's good enough right now.
And then also, like, when you look at Jared Goff, when you look at him in his best moments or you look at him in the big stage, like, I bring this up often. You go back to that Monday Night Football game between he and Patrick Mahomes, where I think the final score was 54-51 or 50.
Yeah, it was a great game.
Yeah, 54-51. Jared Goff outplayed Patrick Mahomes. Jared Goff balled in that game.
Yeah.
And then you go to the Super Bowl, and everybody's like, yeah, he got to the Super Bowl, but
Todd Gurley got him there.
He crapped Todd Gurley did get him there. Don't do that. But they say he crapped the bed. You know who crapped the bed? It wasn't Jared Goff. It was Sean McVay. Sean McVay's offensive play call in that game was horrendous. It was horrendous. So when you're looking at it, you've seen him have moments. If you put the best things around him, you told me that they got the best offensive line in football or they're close. So they got that. You told me DeAndre Swift before the season, he could have his breakout year and he could lead the league in rushing and he catches out the backfield. He's like a guy that could potentially get 2,000 from scrimmage. Amon-Ra St. Brown can definitely be a Pro Bowl player. He is a Pro Bowl player. Jameson Williams and what we hope about him. You put all these things together. Jamal Williams, who's a guy that can get you your short yardage and go, can get you the touchdowns in the red zone, especially on the goal line. So, like I said, I don't know.
Here's one thing that keeps getting brought up every time Jameson Williams gets brought up, and I saw a couple comments in the WoodwardSports.com chat. No. Does Jared Goff have a strong enough arm to be able to throw it to a Jameson Williams downfield? Because we really, outside of Josh Reynolds a little bit at the end of last season, the Lions haven't thrown that deep ball a ton. Is that because of Jared Goff's arm, or is that because they don't have the wide receivers to make it happen? You're probably a little better judge of a quarterback's arm than I am. Do you think he's got enough juice to get that ball down the field to a guy like Jameson?
Last time I checked, Brandon Cooks ran 4.3 when he played with Jared Goff.
Okay.
Last time I checked, Brandon Cooks is a 4.3 wide receiver. So I think he does have the arm. I just think they don't necessarily call those shots because they don't trust those plays right now. They don't trust going down the field. You saw what happened with the one little quick pass to DJ Chark and how that kind of played out, although it was a little bit of, guy got a rush. It was a little pressure.
He did get rushed, yep.
But it's anticipation. When I played for the Jets, Mark Sanchez's arm was a noodle. Like, it was a noodle. But what he made up for it is anticipation. Like, it was anticipation. Mark released the ball let's say a guy with a powerful arm like Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford doesn't have to release the ball early because he's got a rocket launcher. Like, he can throw it when he wants to.
Right.
Quarterbacks that don't have that necessarily, it's anticipation, and they let the ball go earlier, dropping into a spot. So to your point, look at Tua Tagovailoa. He's not having problems finding Jalen
Everybody
Waddle,
said
and
he couldn't throw it to Hill or Tyreek.
100%. So I think he has a strong enough arm to get the ball down the field. But guess what? We will soon find out.
You brought up the Jets, and this is another cautionary tale about everybody that's all in on going high on a quarterback.
Ooh.
You got Zach Wilson, just got benched. Team's got a winning record, but that was the number 2 overall pick. How nuts would Lions fans be going right now if the Lions took someone else besides Aiden Hutchinson at number 2 and they already had to bench their quarterback? That's one of my biggest fears, too, about like overlooking what you already have in Goff. Is he great? No, he's not great. But is he the problem? I don't think he's the problem either. So it's like just something that's like, all right, it's there for now. We'll deal with it. But I'm afraid if the Lions do invest all this draft capital, they get the wrong guy. That's almost worse than not trying to draft the guy at all, in my opinion, because now you're sitting on his salary, you're sitting with an attitude problem, and that seems to be the thing with Zach Wilson. This seemed to be a locker room thing with Zach Wilson, too.
Yeah, Zach Wilson seems, and once again, I'm a diehard Jet, Jets, Jets, you know what time it is. From the outside looking in, he just seems like a selfish individual that's young. He's young, he's selfish, he's trying to figure it out. He's out here like, banging his mom's friends and things like that. So like he's like focused on a lot of things that aren't necessarily on the football field. But answer me this, Sitck, and Flannel, you could jump in on this one too. Look at the quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowls in the last 10, 15 years. They're guys. They're first round picks, like with the exception of Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady he's the unicorn.
Yeah.
With the exception of that, Patrick Mahomes. Dude, first round pick. Stafford. You can say whatever you want to say about Stafford. He still was drafted as a first overall pick.
But with Mahomes, not to break up your thought, with Mahomes, they brought Mahomes into an already built
team. Nick Foles was a first round quarterback.
Yeah, they brought Mahomes into an already built team, though, right?
Yeah, so like Andy Reid set that up, and starting in 2013 through Alex Smith, set it up very nice for him. Understood that, but
they also had a defense. That's the thing. The Chiefs had a defense when they brought in Patrick Mahomes, but the Lions don't.
Okay, I give you that. Even with that said, if Patrick Mahomes wasn't the quarterback for that Kansas City Chiefs team, they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl. Now, you could tell me about the team being set up. They would have lost. Alex Smith was the quarterback. They would have lost. Hell, if Jimmy Garoppolo makes that pass, Patrick Mahomes might be in trouble. So I understand he definitely was born on third, to quote Jim Harbaugh talking about Ryan Day. I understand that, but you got to have dudes that can win that chip. The guys that get there and the guys that do it, they're all first-round quarterbacks. They're the guys that you draft with the first, second, third, fourth. Patrick Mahomes with 13. You got to have a guy like that to win it.
Yeah,
you do.
It just... To me, there's two different theories. There's two different theories that are going on, and Maz is usually the biggest vocal theory against this. I'm in the theory of build the team, add the quarterback. Okay. He's in the theory of your rebuild doesn't start till you get the quarterback.
That's Ryan Ermanni. I can hear him saying that in my ear right now.
Which side of that coin are you on?
I'm on the side. What do you have right now? What do you have? What's working for you? What do you have in the offseason? What do you have in the draft? What can you do to make your team better? What needs can you focus on? So you're of the mind, Jared Goff's good enough right now. So if we're saying that, then draft, pick up in free agency around that and get that thing moving in the right direction.
Right.
Because the other side of that is what you can do. It doesn't necessarily have to be a draft pick. You don't necessarily have to draft the number 1 overall, the number 2, or those guys. Some guys, you can pick up a guy that it's not working somewhere. Lamar Jackson might be available. You know what I'm saying? Justin Herbert, obviously they're not going to get rid of him, but Justin Herbert, it's not working right now with the Chargers. Derek Carr will be a guy who's like, hey, you know what? Maybe one man's trash is another man's treasure. You look at that might sometimes be the way to go. Set your team up. And then go get one of those contracts, bring a guy in for a trade or just get him in free agency.
Yeah, either way, I mean, the quarterback situation, you're right. The guys that win Super Bowls are the guys. Yeah. They're the guys.
Yeah.
And Jared Goff's been there. He's been to a Super Bowl. Obviously, he didn't win it, but I just have a rough time throwing this guy out as the main problem because I think if you bring in any rookie quarterback with the 32nd ranked defense, there's going to be problems.
I think the biggest thing for me, and I think the biggest thing for people that want to move on from Jared Goff or that aren't sold on Jared Goff. And this is very true, and this is very real. You got to pay attention to Sean McVay. Sean McVay had Jared Goff. Sean McVay had him for 5 years, 5 years, had him there. He saw what he could do. He watched him go
Jeff
to the...
Fisher didn't love Jared Goff.
You see what I'm saying? Jeff Fisher didn't love him.
I know.
Sean McVay had him. It didn't work out. Sean McVay did a whole shady move with the whole Cabo. We happened to run into each other.
Hey, Matthew Stafford.
What are you doing here, buddy? Hey, you want to come over and have a tequila with me? So, you got to pay attention to that. They got rid of him. They were happy to get rid of him. They were extremely happy to get rid of Jared Goff. And I'm just saying, that's something to be paid attention to.
I appreciate that,
or
man.
Be mindful of.
And another thing to be mindful of are people at SMA. They're helping people.
Yeah, definitely. SMA, Sean Jordan does an amazing job. The sports marketing agency, what they do is they want to destigmatize mental health as well as substance abuse. So let them. They're providing great conversation. Look, it's okay to not be okay. But when that's the case, you got to know where to go to get the information. You got to know where to go to get the platforms where you can see what's going on with yourself or somebody that you might know. Go to thesportsma.com. Sean Jordan, NFL Alumni Association, did an amazing job of letting you know it's okay. We're here for you.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Yeah, it is Black Friday, and there is no better deal than free. That's where Big Frog comes in. Big Frog in Novi is giving you a free Woodward Sports t-shirt if you walk in their store today and say, I want my free Woodward Sports t-shirt. It's really that easy. Go to Big Frog in Novi, or you could shop online today, bigfrog.com/Novi.
Hey, man, why it's got to be Black Friday? I take offense to that.
I'm not equipped to answer that question, and I'm not even about to do it. I'm not going to bait me today.
I'm joking. I'm joking. We need like a White Monday or something. Maybe like White Wednesday. There you go.
All right, well, there's a lot I can say, but there's a lot I shouldn't say, and there's a lot I'm not going to say. So we are live here at Feldman in Clarkston. It's their brand new Jeep dealership grand opening weekend. If you're looking for a new vehicle, stop on by and test drive one of these bad boys. They got the Wagoneer. They got the Grand Cherokee. A Compass sold earlier. It was sitting right here, but they drove it right off the floor. And then, of course, the Wrangler right behind us, the iconic Jeep Wrangler. Brady Quinn is about to join us in a little bit. Whew, man, I feel like it's going to be a big weekend this weekend. Yeah. Coming off that Lions almost win, I hope we're not feeling the same thing on Saturday after the Michigan-Ohio State game, but I do know it's going to be a battle down there.
It's going to be interesting, man. It's one of those things where I don't necessarily get too sentimental or too, it crushed me. Like I've just never been that cat. It crushed me. I can't eat tonight. I can't sleep. My weekend is ruined. But with that said, I don't know this one. This one will hurt. Like this one would definitely hurt. The 2006 one hurt. Like I was there. Crable obviously gets the late hit on the sideline. They get a first down. Like, that one hurt. And obviously we didn't get back from them, but this one's gonna hurt.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game, though. I'm really looking forward to it. The buzz around it this year. Thank goodness Michigan didn't drop the game last week, and Moody showed up and was able to kick the game-winning field goal and all the other field goals to keep them in that game. But honestly, I thought if Michigan lost last week, that would probably be the best game to lose out of the two. Because if you lose that game but then beat Ohio State, you're still going to the Big Ten championship, and you're still potentially going to the college football playoffs. So by winning last week, you gave yourself, it's got to be an undefeated season, or you're not getting to the college football playoffs.
Yeah, it's got to be an undefeated season. I mean, you kind of look at what's going on at TCU. TCU's had some scares, but they look to be the team poised in the Big 12 to win that. You look at USC sneaking up there. They had a good win against UCLA last week with Caleb Williams jumping and propelling himself almost to the number one spot in a Heisman Trophy race right now. Got those guys. You can't lose. Like, it's one of those things where everybody's trying to go back and forth. Like, well, maybe if what if it's like, no time left on the clock and Ohio State has to make a field goal to win by 1? If Michigan doesn't beat Ohio State, Michigan will be in the Rose Bowl in nobody's playoffs.
And God, it sucks to me that the Rose Bowl has just lost its luster. Like, that used to be such a major thing for a Big Ten team to get to, because obviously it was the Big Ten champ versus the Pac-12 champ, and you got to see those guys play. But now that the college football playoffs has kind of like ruined the sanctity of the Rose Bowl and all those other bowl games. That's why if they do expand to this 12-team college football playoffs like they're talking about, I think that's a good thing for college football. This is going to give a little bit more equity to some of these bowl games that have lost the luster of pulling out the best teams from them. And I also think you'll get some college kids that will actually play all the way through the season instead of being like, I'm going pro. I don't need to play in the let's look around here.
Yeah, the Capital One Bowl.
Reese's Pieces Bowl. I don't need to play in that. Right?
Pornhub Bowl. You see that?
What?
You see?
Wait, what? Cornhub?
Pornhub.
They have a bowl?
They were trying. They were trying to get a bowl game. They were trying to do that as well as a stadium naming. They're trying to get a stadium naming as well as a bowl game.
Oh my God. What? That's got to be in Vegas, right? Like in Vegas could be the Vegas could probably be the only city that could have that on their stadium, and everybody be like, "Oh yeah, it's Vegas."
Remember when people were talking about teams coming to Vegas, whether it was trying to get a basketball team or trying to get a football team? I was like, oh no, you know what? You can't go out there to Sin City, and it's going to be this. Like the Raiders in Vegas, they've done with a couple foul. I set myself up for that one. I set myself up for that
They've done a good job in Vegas.
It could have been worse.
It's not as bad as you thought it was going to be, right?
Yeah, you thought like guys were like Lawrence Taylor, like back in the day, like not coming to games, like.
But that's part of it, right? Like they haven't had a Dennis Rodman type player on a Vegas team yet. But once you get that guy there, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, man. I gotta go there. Like, Sitck, we need to talk. We need to do some bucket list trips, man. Like, so we gotta go to SoFi.
Okay, yeah.
We gotta go to Allegiant.
Yep.
I gotta hear Bruce Buffer do "It's Time."
It's time.
Oh, that's the best, man. He's better than his brother, but that's just my opinion.
You like him better than Michael Buffer?
His brother's iconic, and I grew up on that, and it was the deal. But I feel like it got overdone. Like, he started doing it a lot with other different things that weren't boxing.
Well, he licensed it, and then that's when it got out of control.
That's when he got paid.
Yeah.
But with Bruce Buffer, it's like that energy, like it's infectious. Like, it's the real deal.
Yeah, that's what else is on your sports bucket list? Because I'm one of those guys.
It's going on next summer.
My retirement
World Cup.
My retirement plan is going to be to like go to every stadium. Like, that's one thing I've always wanted to do. Hit up every NFL stadium. Hit up every MLB stadium. And I know people that have done it. And to me, that's a cool thing. I've only been to Fenway, which was awesome. It was a cultural experience. Really crappy stadium, but it's Fenway. It's
like 2,000 years old.
Yeah, it's a relic. So you go and visit that. I'd love to get to Lambeau at some point and check that out, especially during a Lions game. That would be nice.
Yeah, no, Lambeau was amazing. Like, so Lambeau. It's funny you say Lambeau. My first NFL touchdown was at Lambeau Field my rookie year. It was It's the third game of the year. It's 80-yard touchdowns. First touchdown ever at Lambeau. Lambeau's so special, man. Like,
did you do the leap?
Nah, I didn't. I was in the end zone. You know what? I'm glad you asked. When you do that, I was so excited in the moment. I didn't know. I think we got Brady. I know we got to bring him in.
Yeah,
let's
bring on in the man, the myth, the legend, Brady Quinn. You said he's already in Columbus, right?
He's there right now. B, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, guys. Sorry about the technical issues. Yeah, I'm here in Columbus. The stadium's actually right there behind me. You can kind of see it over my shoulder right here.
I see. Those are the dorm. That's the dorm room. The towers behind you.
Yeah, that's the towers. You know those towers. You know.
100%. I know it from other reasons too, not football. But man, you look amazing right now, Brady. Walk us through right now down in Columbus. What is the atmosphere? What is the energy like on Friday before the game, as it's called?
It's electric. Right now the band's actually out on the field next to the stadium practicing. We're just getting done with some of our production meetings for the game. Obviously, Charles Woodson's here. He'll be a part of the broadcast. So we're excited about having C. Wood as part of it. But you can get a sense and just a buzz around campus. I mean, even our set, obviously people aren't tailgating yet. They start early tomorrow morning. But there's all sorts of people around the set already. Just excited about this big-time matchup.
All right, first and foremost, Brady, I want to say thank you for joining because I know you didn't have any time whatsoever, but you made this happen for your brother. I love you. I appreciate it. So let's not waste time. What does Michigan have to do to win this game tomorrow against Ohio State in the Horseshoe?
Well, look, the status of Blake Corum, whether or not he's going to be 100%, and if he plays in this game, it's going to be paramount to me just because of how special he is. And even if he wasn't to play, if Donovan Edwards was to play, that'd be helpful too. He's obviously missed some time recently, but then it'd fall on the freshman C.J. Stokes. This offense has been based upon that offensive line, which, in my opinion, they won the Joe Moore Award last year for the best offensive line. I think they're even better this year. This game really weighs on their shoulders. They're going to have to be able to run the football like they did last year, racking up almost 300 yards versus the Buckeyes in Ann Arbor. And look, J.J. McCarthy may have to play a bigger role as part of that. And obviously the defense has to do their part, eliminating Marvin Harrison Jr. in particular from the big plays in the passing game. And then J.J.'s got to take care of the football. So I think it's those three things: run the football, take care of the football, and then eliminate the big plays from that Ohio State passing offense.
Brady Quinn joining us. Thank you again, Brady, for giving us a little bit of your time. Obviously, you've played in some big games in college football. What's it like? I asked Braylon this earlier. What's it like leading up to your rivalry game in a situation like this? How hype are you for these games?
He's got 85 rivals at Notre Dame. Jeez Louise.
I was just going to say, this question actually came up to Charles Woodson. I'd be curious to get Braylon's opinion. Michigan's got Ohio State, but they also have Michigan State. Yeah. And so when you kind of look at it that way, I'd be curious if those back on with Notre Dame, kind of similar. We had Michigan back when we were playing them every single year. In-state rival was always Purdue. That was big. USC is another one, obviously. Notre Dame's got them this weekend. But Navy every single year. So we always felt like there was like a different rivalry each week. Like we played for 1,000 shillelaghs. Like every single year, a different shillelagh. Like I didn't even know what a shillelagh was until I got to campus. But like, how would you compare the rivalries that Michigan has, Braylon? Because that question got asked to C. Wood. He said, "Look, there's nothing like Ohio State, Michigan, even though Michigan State's a big deal."
You know what? He's absolutely correct. Like, Brady, if we're being honest, man, if Michigan State hadn't turned it around in 2008 with Mark D'Antonio from then till, I guess you could say last year because they won last year as well, if that hadn't happened, this rivalry wouldn't be as big as it's gotten. But with that being said, it holds no candle to Ohio State. When you think about Ohio State, like, that's the one. Michigan State's like, all right, man, you know what I'm saying? We'll go play our little brothers up the road. But we're focused on Ohio State. Like, when we play Ohio State, we're legitimately game planning. You know how this is in schools, B. You start game planning as you're playing other teams. Coaches get away with that stuff. So it'll always be Ohio State for us. I got to ask you one about JJ before I forget. Does JJ have it? Like, do you believe enough in JJ to win this game from what you've seen in an 11-game period so far?
I do, and I think, if you're looking at talking about skill set and everything else, like we saw probably more non-conference play than we saw during conference play this year, the more downfield passing game. I don't know if it's a hesitation from Coach Harbaugh or the offensive staff, because I know he can do it. There's enough examples on film where you've seen his ability to throw the football down the field accurately and effectively. It just seems like they're more hesitant to even do that. And maybe they're saving it up for a game like this where they're going to need to. But, look, he's going to have to tomorrow. Bottom line is, like, this is that matchup where you can't hold anything back if you want to beat Ohio State in Columbus.
All right, 2 things before you go, and I'm going to let you go. And once again, Bray, I really appreciate your time. One, I need a prediction on the score. And then 2, Clemson, Notre Dame. Look at Notre Dame sneaking in there, man, making some noise, man. I'm proud of you guys, man.
I know they've really come around of late. You know, it almost makes the case where I don't think the ACC has a shot at getting their conference champion in Clemson, just because how can you put them in after Notre Dame, you know, kind of wallop them and beat UNC as well, who also will be playing in that conference championship game. Look, they got the chance to play spoiler to USC. They beat USC. Pac-12 is not going to have a shot either. So could be a fun weekend for Notre Dame, especially the way they've come around. But the prediction, I will give that prediction to you. Tomorrow on Fox.
I knew
you got to tune in for it. That's the whole point, man. We can't be giving out freebies before you guys are able to tune in.
I tried to set you up, but you're very clean. Clark Kent, you're always on it.
Yeah,
Brady, you've been traveling along with the Fox pregame show, going to all these different cities, and we were there when Ann Arbor Penn State game. The vibe of all these places that you're going to, how I don't want to say rank them, but how is Michigan compared to Ohio State?
You know, it's tough because I think our setup's a little different. I mean, we are right next to the stadium when we're at Ohio State. And so you kind of see a lot of the influx of flowing people. You know, for Michigan, it's tougher just because the confines of where our set is and where we've been set up. So it's a little different feel to it. But look, for this game, it doesn't matter if it's in Ann Arbor or if it's in Columbus. It's crazy. I mean, there's people tailgating starting early. I know we got an email today. They said like the gates or something open to where they can start parking and tailgating at 5 a.m. The game's not till noon. Jeez, and it's going to be like 30 degrees in the morning. So if that gives you any indication
Ohio, though.
about,
they're used to it.
Ohio, and I think Michigan for that matter. So it doesn't matter where this game's played, in my opinion. Both home crowds sell out for it. Everyone shows up for it. So I can't wait. This is the pinnacle of our season every single year. Obviously, we're a part of the Big Ten championship game as well next week. But this is really, to me, the Big Ten championship in and of itself this week.
Yeah. Brady, it's 4 o'clock on Friday, which means we are done here at WoodwardSports.com. I just want to say I really, 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 really appreciate you. My favorite analyst, and that's not because you're my friend. It's because you're the best.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, guys. I'll give you a go blue. We'll see what they got.
There we
tomorrow.
go.
Hey.
There we go.
All right, clip that. Put it all over social media. Let's go.
Appreciate that, Brady. Take care.
Brady Quinn joining the Ermanni and Edwards with the Maz show on WoodwardSports.com. Yeah, thank you, Brady Quinn. Thanks for setting that up today. I know he's
guy, man.
What a cool existence that is too, to play your career in college, then move on and just be an analyst. Like, surrounding yourself in football, no better way to do it.
Great dude. He's damn good at his job. He takes it very serious, and he makes that show Big Noon Kickoff to Charlotte Brady. It's a great show, man.
Yeah, well, Braylon, thank you very much.
As always, man.
Everybody, Cyber Monday is coming up, but you know what? We're extending our Cyber Monday deals starting today on Black Friday. So all weekend long, 10% off the entire WoodwardSports.com shop. All you got to do is put in the promo code WSN Cyber, and you're getting 10% off everything.
One thing I forgot to say at the beginning of the week, congratulations to my man Fletch for getting engaged.
Oh, Fletch is engaged.
I forgot to say that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So congratulations again, Fletch, and appreciate all you do. Flannel Sam, appreciate you as well, buddy. He just got married. Look at this.
Yeah.
Are you next?
Suckers.
Am I next?
Nope. See you guys.
All right, see you later. I think. Yeah.
Catch. Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.